A service of KIBMradio.com, the Internet's home for an all-old-time radio.
Kroger Tender Ray Beef. No other beef so fresh can be so tender. Presents Hearts in Harmony, transcribed. K is for Kroger. C is for cut. B is for beef. KCB means Kroger cut beef, and Kroger cut beef means more meat for your money. That's right, ladies. Kroger cut beef gives you more meat, less waste. You see, before the meat is weighed and priced, the Kroger method of cutting beef removes excess bone, excess waste, and stringy ends. Yes, that's before the meat is weighed and priced. And that's why Kroger cut beef gives you more meat for your money. It's top U.S. government grades of beef, meat that's tender, juicy, rich red, and marbled with just the right amount of flavory fat. Yes, it's a better value in top-grade beef. Now, for example, let's take a Kroger cut sirloin steak. Before the steak is weighed and priced, the Kroger method of cutting beef removes the stringy end, excess waste, and excess bone. So you get a better value because you don't pay steak price for stringy meat, excess bone, or waste. But whether you buy a steak or roast, you receive more meat, less waste. That's at your Kroger store. Visit your neighborhood Kroger store soon. Make it a rule to buy Kroger cut beef and get more meat for your money. And now, Hearts in Harmony. Her mind occupied with church work and a job as secretary to Frank Carter, young Rossville lawyer, Penny Gibbs has seemingly thought little of her tragic romance with wealthy Barry Carlton. But this is not as true as it appears on the surface. For this afternoon, young Nora Lang says to her husband,
Crickets, Freddie, did you notice how many times Penny went to the window this morning looking for the mailman?
Yeah, I sure did, Nora. She knows he always comes at 10:30, too.
Well, almost always. He was 10 minutes late this morning.
Oh.
She went to the window at least twice every minute.
Well, I left here before the mailman got here. Did she get the letter she was waiting for? Gosh, I don't get that, Nora. Looks to me like that Carlton guy's clamming up on her. She hasn't heard a word since she wrote to him, has she?
No, she hasn't. Every morning and every afternoon she looks at the mail or calls up to ask about it. But there hasn't been a single line from Mr. Carlton. Oh, Freddie, I feel so sorry for her. And I hate to be happy in front of her.
Oh, now look, Nora, you shouldn't feel that way about it. Penny knows we're happy, and she wants us to be happy, because that's the way she is. And if we went around with long faces on, she'd really begin to worry about us.
Yes, I guess she would. Oh, but just the same, it seems so unfair. Crickets, what right have we to have everything we want while she has almost nothing?
Nora, you're asking the wrong guy. I haven't got the brains to figure out why some people get the breaks and some people don't. Maybe it's luck. You know, like when you toss a coin and it comes up heads or tails. Well, you call heads and maybe it is. And then again, maybe it isn't.
There must be more to it than that, Freddie. I'm sure there is.
Oh, I'm sure there is, too, but that way of figuring it out is good enough for me. And if you ask me, Penny is looking at it the same way I am. You know, life's a lot of luck. And right now, Penny's is all bad. And ours is all good.
Oh, I wish we could give her some of our good luck.
So do I. Who knows, Nora? Maybe we'll be able to do that someday in a way. I mean, maybe we'll be able to pay her back for all she's done for us.
Oh, Crickets, Freddie, I certainly hope so.
Well, maybe someday we can, if she's going to let us. I think that's going to be the tough part, though. Getting her to let us do something for her. You know, she's always giving and never taking, which is exactly the score on her job with this guy Carter. Now, look, she's beating her brains out for that jerk lawyer, and what's she getting out of it? Nothing but a headache.
Well, he's paying her, Freddie.
Yeah, sure, to be a secretary. That means pound a typewriter, not the sidewalks. That means running an office, not running out after crooks.
Oh, I think her job sounds exciting.
Just like you dames. You think that everything is just like it is in the movies, huh?
No.
Well, that's as far from the truth as it is from here to China. Now, look. If this guy Carter really has got hold of a case, he's asking Penny to play cops and robbers with guys who play the game for keeps.
Oh, Freddie, you're always so afraid that Penny's in danger of some kind. Crickets, can't you just once give her credit for knowing what she's doing?
Oh, sure. I'll admit she knows what she's doing most of the time. But Penny has a way of believing anything that anybody tells her. Just because she's on the level, she thinks that everybody is. And Crickets, you know that's not true.
Well, most people are on the level.
Oh, and you've been around, huh?
Yeah.
Crickets, you're terrific, and I love you, but there's a lot of things you just don't understand or know. Maybe I'm glad about that part, too, because if you were too smart, you sure wouldn't have married me.
Then I'm glad I'm stupid, too.
Oh, glad you married me?
Oh, Crickets, what do you think?
Well, when it comes to you, Nora, I stopped thinking. Because it doesn't take thinking to know how much I love you and how glad I am. You know, they say there's no such thing as somebody who's perfect. But I think that you're the exception that proves the rule that there's an exception to every rule. Hey, that was some twisted up mouthful, wasn't it?
I think I understand what you meant, though.
Good.
Oh, did you speak to Daddy yesterday?
Oh, gee, no, I didn't have the chance to.
Oh, Freddie, you promised. I'm worried about him.
Oh, look who's crying wolf.
Freddie, this is different. Daddy isn't well, and I know it.
Why, he looks great. He feels great.
Yes, I know how he looks, Freddie. He's tan and he's gained a little weight. But I know how he feels inside. I can tell by his eyes. Oh, please, Freddie, do something to make him stop working so hard.
Well, that'll take an awful lot of arguing.
Yes, I know it, but you have to make him stop. Golly, you and Daddy are all I have. I don't want to lose either one of you.
Oh, Nora, your dad's good for at least another couple 100 years.
Freddie, please don't joke about it.
I'm sorry.
Will you talk to him?
Oh, sure I will. But I don't see how I can give him any orders.
You're the boss on the farm now. Freddie, Daddy gave it to us. It's ours legally and everything.
Yeah, sure, but your dad and I are still partners, too. And that's the way I want to keep it. That's the way it ought to be just as long as he lives. Or as long as he wants to stay on the place.
Well, you can suggest to him that he take a rest.
Well, yes, I suppose I could. But I know just what he's going to say. It's the wrong time of year. Too much to tend to on the farm. You know that, but I'll talk to him.
Promise?
You bet.
Soon?
This week, guarantee it. And I'll let you know what he says, too.
Please do. Oh, but don't tell him I'm worried, Freddie.
Oh? And why not?
Well, I don't want him to know that I know he's not well.
Oh, look, Crickets, he's all right. I don't know where you've
he's not a young man anymore.
Well, I sure wouldn't call him an old man either. He's a man that's...
Oh,
hi, Gypsy.
Hi, Penny. Oh, Crickets, but you look pretty.
Pretty nothing. Why, the gal's beautiful.
Thank you, Freddie. No, I'll be late for supper tonight. Don't wait for me.
All right.
Carter got you working overtime again?
Nope, I'm doing some church work this afternoon, and I'll be making several calls for Dr. Judson.
Oh, well, that's okay then.
I see you've been listening to Jed and Johnny.
Well...
You don't like my working on the Ainsley case, do you?
Oh, Crickets, Penny, every time you do something, Freddie thinks you're going to get into some just awful trouble.
Nora.
Well, you don't go around messing with professional thieves without getting into a jam, Penny. I know, because I did. And you remember the jam I was in, don't you? Both of you?
Well, that was different.
Well, I'd like to know what's different about it. After all, crooks are crooks and a jam's a jam.
Freddie, I think I'll survive the ordeal, and I do appreciate your concern. No, I won't be late, but say something for me, will you?
I sure will, Miss Gibbs.
Thanks. Bye, dear.
Bye.
If you get any mail, phone me at the church. I'll be there for a while.
Okay.
If there's any mail, I'll call you.
Funny thing. She smiles, talks about everything under the sun, but all the while, you know just what she's thinking about, don't you?
Mm-hmm. Well, Freddie, it must be awful to be as sad inside as she is.
Yeah, it must be rough. But you gotta hand it to her, Nora. She can really take it. Smashed up heart and all. She's going on just as if nothing had ever happened.
Yes?
Hello, I'm Penny Gibbs from the church. Dr. Judson sent me to see you.
Oh, that's very nice. Come in. Please, come in.
Thank you very much.
Please, you must forgive our house. My wife is ill. Very ill, Miss...
Gibbs.
Oh, yes, Gibbs. Wait, I'll move these clothes and you can sit down.
How is your wife, Mr. Benson?
Ill, poor woman. Ill and beyond hope.
Oh, don't say that. There's always hope if you have faith.
Oh, yes, but faith is for the young, Miss Gibson. Miss Gibbs. Not for the old.
Oh, I'm sure you don't mean that. Doc Judson sent this basket of food to you.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. I'm very, very grateful. My wife would thank you, too, but she's ill. Ill, poor woman.
Thanks aren't necessary, sir. The church sends us with God's blessing.
Oh, yes. God takes care of his children, doesn't he? Even when they're old and poor. I hope I shall be able to thank him soon.
Mr. Benson, Dr. Judson is going to try to have Mrs. Benson taken to a hospital.
Oh, no. It's much too late. And the cost is too much.
But you aren't able to take care of her, are you?
I do my best. My best. She wants little, asks little, poor woman. But I could use help once in a while.
Well, nurses are just as expensive as a hospital is.
Oh, yes, I know. I wasn't thinking of a nurse so much, but I remember across the street when old Sam Ainsley was dying every day. That woman came to help.
Well, yes, that's right. Mr. Ainsley did live across the street from here, didn't he?
Oh, yes, he did. A fine man, Sam. I remember him from many years ago when we were all young and well. Didn't help Sam in the least to have that woman tend him, though.
You mean Mrs. Peterson?
I didn't know her name. I didn't ask. I never knew Sam had money till he died. Suppose he had more before he put it out for a nurse, though.
No, Mr. Ainsley didn't pay Mrs. Peterson. And, maybe, Mr. Benson, we can find someone like Mrs. Peterson to come here and take care of your wife.
If only a little bit, Miss Gibbs. She might get well. Might get well.
Well, I'm pretty sure she will.
Oh, she might if I can get help from someone who isn't having a visitor 3 or 4 times a day. 3 or 4 times a day.
What do you mean, sir?
Well, I watched when Sam was sick and dying across the street. A man came to the house many times every day until he died. He was even there the day that poor Sam passed away.
This was while Mrs. Peterson was there, not before.
Well, Sam had this woman helping him on one day, and starting the very next, this man kept coming, never staying long, but coming back till poor Sam was dead. Then he never came to the house again. Never again. I never could understand who he was or what he wanted or why he came at all.
I think I understand who he was and what he wanted and why he was there, Mr. Benson. I'm quite sure I understand.
Well, Penny has accidentally discovered that Mrs. Peterson did have an associate when Sam Ainsley died and left a strange will. Was this frequent visitor the Robert Wilson that Frank Carter is looking for? Be sure to listen to the next dramatic episode of Hearts in Harmony. KCB. KCB. KCB means Kroger Cut Beef, and Kroger Cut Beef means more meat for your money. You see, Kroger Cut Beef gives you more meat, less waste, because before the meat is weighed and priced, the Kroger method of cutting beef removes excess bone, excess waste, and stringy ends. Yes, your Kroger meat man gives you more meat, less waste, and it's top U.S. government grades of beef, tender, juicy, rich red, and marbled with just the right amount of flavory fat. So visit your Kroger store soon. Order your favorite cut of steak or roast. If you buy a Kroger cut round steak or roast, notice that the Kroger method of cutting beef gives you a minimum of bone and removes excess waste before the steak or roast is weighed and priced. Remember, whether you buy a steak or roast, Kroger cut beef gives you more meat for your money. And remember, too, ladies, Kroger cut beef is available only at Kroger stores. So plan now to visit your neighborhood Kroger store. There's where you'll find delicious beef, top-grade beef. And there at your Kroger store is where you get more meat for your money. For Kroger cut beef gives you more meat, less waste. Get your share of this tremendous value without delay at your neighborhood Kroger store. Tune in tomorrow, same time, same station, for another exciting transcribed chapter of Hearts in Harmony.
Countdown for blast off. X minus 5, 4, 3, 2, X minus 1, fire. From the far horizons of the unknown come tales of new dimensions in time and space. These are stories of the future, adventures in which you'll live in a million, could be years, on 1,000 maybe worlds. The National Broadcasting Company, in cooperation with Galaxy Science Fiction Magazine, presents
X minus 1.
Tonight, The Trap by Finn O'Donovan.
Samish, I am in need of some assistance. The situation is potentially dangerous, so come at once. It shows how right you were, Samish, old friend. I never should have trusted a Terran. What a sorry mess, Samish, and the plot seemed so foolproof.
Hey, Thurston, get up. Get up, come on.
Why? What's the matter? Why?
Come on, it's daybreak.
Now, there's good news. Let me alone.
Oh, come on. You don't want to sleep through our vacation. The bird's on the wing.
It's 5 o'clock in the morning.
5 o'clock in the morning in the Adirondacks is the middle of the day.
What's the weather out?
Oh, it's raining.
For crying out loud.
Oh, don't go back to sleep.
It always rains on the first day of vacation. It's a rule of nature.
Look, I got a little fly rod with a new plastic reel that I'm just dying
Now,
to
what
try.
the trouble with you is, Ed, you're in love with sporting goods equipment.
Oh, now, wait till you see this rod.
Now, take that rifle I sold you. You could shoot a rhinoceros with it, but you won't, because, Ed, you're essentially a friendly man.
The trouble with you is you don't like the woods.
Well, how can you say that? Don't I come with you on a hunting trip every year?
Sure, but you always manage to steer us over to Lake Placid to the cocktail lounges.
Ah, now there's real hunting. Now, there are trophies to bring back to the city. None of your paltry brown bears or black bears.
Oh, come on now, Thurston. I came up here to the mountains to hunt.
Have a drink.
Well, it's awfully early in the morning.
Well, look upon it as an extension of last night.
Well, all right. Think it'll stop raining?
No, who cares?
Well, come on now. Get dressed. It's a perfect day out there in the woods for bear.
It certainly is. That's why I want to stay right here in the cabin. Ed.
What?
Past the canteen?
It's empty.
Well, open up one of the bottles and pour it in.
Well, why don't you take it straight from the bottle?
What, on a camping trip? Pour it into the canteen.
Okay.
Hey. Now, this is what I call a hunting trip.
Well, you haven't been outside the cabin. Oh, come on, Thurston. Can't we go out just to hunt something, even if it's just a little rabbit? Look. It stopped raining.
Now, close the door. Now, you let some of the fumes out. Did you fill that canteen yet?
Hey, look at this.
What?
Right by the door.
How many times have I told you not to leave your collapsible cook stove where I can step on it in the night?
It isn't.
What is it?
I don't know. It's made out of metal. It's just sitting here in the doorway. It says, trap on the top.
What?
Trap.
Where'd you buy that?
I didn't.
Well, I certainly didn't.
Hey, there's a tag on it. Dear friend, this is a new and revolutionary design in a trap. To introduce the trap to the general public, we are giving you this model absolutely free. You will find it a unique and valuable device for the capture of small game, provided you follow precisely the directions on the other side. Good luck and good hunting. Well, now, what do you think of that?
Pass me the canteen.
If this isn't the strangest thing, do you suppose it was left during the night?
Oh, who cares?
Well, aren't you interested?
Not particularly. It's just another gadget. I've got 100 like it. That bear trap from Abercrombie and Fitch, the jaguar horn from Battlers, the crocodile lure.
Well, I've never seen a trap like this. Yeah, it's pretty clever advertising to just leave it here.
Well, they'll bill you for it eventually. You care for the canteen?
Oh, thanks. Hey, look at this thing, Thurston.
Do I have to?
Well, there are instructions on the other side. Quote, Take the trap to a clearing and anchor it to any convenient tree with the attached chain. Here's the chain, all right. Press button 1 on the base. This primes the trap. Wait 5 seconds and press button 2. This activates the trap. Nothing more is required until a capture has been effected. Then press button 3 to deactivate and open the trap and remove the prey. Warning. Keep the trap closed at all times except when removing the prey.
That's goofy.
No opening is required for the prey's ingress, since the trap works on the principle of osmotic suction and inducts the prey directly into the trap.
Well, somebody's been at that canteen before.
No, that's what it says. What won't they think of next? Osmotic suction.
Pass the canteen back.
I'm going to set it.
What, the canteen?
No, the trap. Come on, help me.
Now that's the trouble with you, Ed. You're always cluttering up a hunting trip with hunting.
Come on, take this in.
All right. If it makes you any happier. Hey, boy, it's cold.
Come on, we'll carry it over to that tree.
It's heavy.
Yeah. Here, let's put it down here.
You think we really ought to fool with it?
Of course. Maybe we can catch a fox.
What will we do with a fox?
Turn it loose. The fun is in the catching. Here, take the end of the chain.
Hey, look out. You got your foot in it.
Yeah, I guess it snaps in here. Oh, there it is.
Let's get back to the cabin. The great outdoors depresses me.
Wait a minute. I've got to press button 1.
Hey, it's glowing.
Yeah. 3, 4, 5. Now button 2.
Well,
I guess we just leave it.
Well, come on back to the cabin.
All right. It is time for breakfast.
It certainly is. Pass it to me and don't spill it.
Samish, where are you? You are my oldest friend. I have already been you the beginning of my story. The Terrans accepted my trap as a trap, nothing more, and they began using it at once with no thought as to the consequences. I had counted on this. The fantastic curiosity of the species is well known. During this period, my wife was crawling giddily around the planetoid, redecorating our hutch and enjoying the change from city life. Everything was going well.
Ed.
What?
It's your turn.
Okay, here we go. Ready on the right.
Ready on the left.
The flag is up.
The flag is waving.
Target's up.
You missed.
Oh, Thurston, couldn't we just pull the cork out instead of trying to shoot off the neck?
Oh, certainly not. This is a hunting trip. You can pull a cork off in the city.
I have often corked off in the city.
Ed, why don't you shut your trap?
Trap. Why don't... Thurston, the trap.
What about it?
Maybe we caught something. Come on.
Where you going?
The trap. There, look. We got something. We've caught something. Come on, look inside.
What is it, huh?
It's a rabbit.
You sure?
Well, look at it.
That is not exactly a rabbit, Ed.
It's the size of a rabbit.
But it's bright green. Ed, no more rum before breakfast.
No, sirree.
Starting tomorrow, hand me the canteen.
What do you think it is?
Could be a rabbit.
Green? With lobster claws? And eyes on stalks?
Well, then again, it might not be a rabbit.
I think it's a new species. We'll have to build a cage and then find out what it eats.
As long as it doesn't drink. You don't suppose it drinks, does it?
No, it doesn't look like a drinking type.
No, Ed, I'm not going to share my vacation with a green rabbit with lobster claws. Probably has dirty habits. There's something very unnatural about that trap. It's inhuman.
I'll bet they said that about Ford's electric light and Edison's car and the telephone invented by Alexander's ragtime band.
Are you sure about that?
Oh, sure. I saw the movie. Come on. We'll build a cage, and then we'll set the trap again.
Okay, but we better go back to the cabin.
What for?
Better refill that canteen.
Why haven't you come yet? Samish, don't you appreciate the seriousness of my situation? Think of your old friend. Think of the lustrous-skinned Friegel for whose sake I got into this mess. Communicate with me at least. The Terrans used a trap, which of course was not a trap at all, but a matter transmitter. I had the other end concealed on the planetoid and fed into it 3 small animals which I found in the garden. The Terrans removed them from the transmitter each time. For what purpose I couldn't guess, but a Terran will keep anything. After the 3rd beast passed through and had not been returned, I knew that was all, and that everything was in readiness, so I prepared for the 4th and final sending, the all-important one, for which all else was mere preparation.
Ouch. Well, that finishes the cage.
You know what?
No. What?
Those things smell. All 3 of them.
Oh, I think they're very handsome. Well, here they are. 1, 2, and 3. First, our green rabbit. Next, our bird with 3 sets of scaly wings. And this other thing, what does it look like?
Well, it looks like a snake. Except it has a head at each end. They eaten anything yet?
No, I've tried milk, mincemeat, vegetables, caviar, potato chips. They haven't touched a thing.
Maybe they're sick. Hey, what are you keeping them for?
Well, they might come in handy someday.
Oh, yeah? What for?
Thurston, have you ever desired fame?
What?
Fame. The knowledge that your name will go down through the ages.
I am a businessman. I've never considered the possibility.
Never?
What do you have in mind?
These creatures are unique.
And they smell.
We'll present them to a museum. The daily Thurston exhibit of creatures hitherto unknown.
They might name them after us. Our names will go down with Livingston, Audubon, Teddy Roosevelt, Walt Disney.
I was thinking of a wing on the Museum of Natural History that would go right across Central Park West. The Daily Thurston Wing.
Thurston Daily.
That's not alphabetical.
That's true. But, Ed, we only got 3 of them. We can't equip a wing with 3 exhibits.
Well, there must be more where these came from. Let's examine the trap.
Just a minute.
The canteen?
The canteen.
We've got something. There it is. Look, it's about 3 feet tall. A big one.
Uh-huh. A small green head and a forked tail.
Oh, look at him, waving something on top of his head.
Well, the rest were quiet. Maybe this one's dangerous. Huh?
We'll handle it with nuts.
Nuts?
Well, nets.
Oh, nuts. All right.
And then we'll have to get in touch with the museum. Thurston, take a telegram.
All righty.
Museum of Natural History. Dear Sir.
Or Madam.
Have discovered at least 4 animals, which I suspect to be new species. Stop. Have you room for suitable exhibit? Stop. Signed, your friend Ed.
Wasn't that signature pretty informal?
You're right. Make it, your good friend Ed.
We better go back and build a cage for this latest one. It looks awfully exciting.
I think we'll make this one strong. Oh, this last specimen is the cream of our collection. Look at it. Its head is turning pink.
It looks mad, doesn't it?
Well, you'd be mad, too, if you were trapped by osmotic suction.
Say that again.
Osmotic suction.
Here, you take the canteen. I'm way ahead of you.
What, Sammy? The rest of the story? Well, it's obvious enough. After 3 animals had passed through the transmitter, I knew I was ready. Now was the time to tell my wife. Accordingly, I asked her to crawl into the garden with me. Tell me, dear, she said, has something been bothering you of late? Have I displeased you? My dear, I said, you have tried your best, but it just isn't good enough. I'm going to take a new mate. She stood motionless, her cilia swaying in confusion. Then she exclaimed, Freagle! Yes, I told her, the glorious Freagle has consented to share my hutch, and with a clever shove, I pushed her into the matter transmitter. Sammy, you should have seen her expression. Her cilia wreathed, and she screamed and was gone. I was free at last, free to mate with the splendid Freagle. Now you can appreciate the full perfection of the scheme. It was necessary to secure the Terran's cooperation, since a matter transmitter must be manipulated at both ends. I had disguised it as a trap, because Terrans will believe anything. And, as a masterstroke, I sent them my wife. Let them try to live with her. I never could. Foolproof. Absolutely foolproof. No one could prove a thing. And then, Samish, then it happened.
Did you get the cage finished?
Yeah, our fourth animal is snug as a bug in a...
It doesn't matter.
Boy, it's a mad one, though. I couldn't help feeling it was trying to tell me something.
Come on. Here's a trap.
It's empty.
But it is. It's empty.
You suppose something's wrong with it?
Maybe there's nothing else to capture.
Oh, that's silly. Why would it capture 4 animals and then stop? I've pressed all the buttons in the right way.
Maybe the battery's down.
Osmotic suction doesn't work on batteries.
How do you know?
Did you ever hear of osmotic suction working on batteries?
No.
You see? There you are.
Why, you got something there. Oh, I know.
What?
Let's go to Lake Placid and forget the whole thing.
No, this thing's got to work. It's got to. The Thurston Daily wing of the American Museum of Natural History is at stake. Would you want that vast edifice across Central Park West to remain empty?
No.
Would you want the Daily Thurston wing to be rented for a garage?
Or a roller skating rink? Oh, horrors, no.
It's got to work again. I'm going to open the top.
Yeah, look out.
No, let's just see what's inside here. Ah! My hand. It's gone. My hand.
No, it isn't. It's right there on the end of your arm.
Oh, well, when I put it in the trap, my hand disappeared.
You know what would do you a lot of good? A little rest in Lake Placid. I know a fine, restful cocktail lounge.
No, look. I'll try it again with both arms. Ah, look. No hands.
Very clever.
I see how it works. Thurston, those animals didn't come from the Adirondacks at all.
You mean they're imposters?
They came from wherever my hand is.
Where's your hand?
I don't know. Do you realize there's a lot more where they come from? Thurston, the future of the Daily Thurston wing is assured. Give me a hand up.
Ed, what are you going to do?
I'm climbing into the trap.
Oh, don't do it, Ed. You don't know what's in there.
Here I go. There goes my feet.
Hey, wait a minute. Here's a canteen. Let's have one for the road. Huh?
All right. Wish me luck.
I still don't think you should do it.
I do it for science and the Daily Thurston wing.
Why do you hold your nose?
I got sinus. Here I go.
Samish, if you don't come immediately, it'll be too late. I must stop beaming you. The enormous Terran has completely ransacked my little planetoid. He has shoved everything, living or dead, through the transmitter. My home is in ruins, and now he's tearing down my hutch. Samish, this monster means to capture me as a specimen. There's no time to lose. Samish, what can be keeping you? You, my oldest friend, you... What's that? mean it. No, not you and Friegel. Reconsider, my old friend. Remember our friendship. Remember...
You have just heard X-1, presented by the National Broadcasting Company in cooperation with Galaxy Science Fiction Magazine, which this month features The Deep One by Neil P. Ruzick, a story which tells of a single mistake in the plan for survival, the biggest possible mistake. Galaxy Magazine on your newsstand today. Tonight, by transcription, X-1 has brought you The Trap, a story from the pages of Galaxy written by Finn O'Donovan and adapted for radio by Ernest Kenoy. Featured in our cast were Donald Buca as the voice, Ralph Bell as Thurston, and William Redfield as Ed. This is Fred Collins. X-1 was directed by Daniel Sutter and is an NBC Radio Network production.
The world on a new hotline. Listen for news on the hour in the exciting hotline service all day, every day on most of these stations.
Countdown for blast off. X-5, 4, 3, 2, X-1, fire. From the far horizons of the unknown come tales of new dimensions in time and space. These are stories of the future, adventures in which you'll live in a million, could be years, on 1,000 maybe worlds. The National Broadcasting Company, in cooperation with Galaxy Science Fiction Magazine, presents X-1. Tonight, Field Study by Peter Phillips.
You might put down that newspaper for just a minute, Frank.
Oh, of course, dear. So this is good coffee, honey.
Now, what is it going to be? That's what I want to know. Overtime or that big night out you promised me?
Well, I just can't say for sure, honey. I'll phone you during the day.
Look, you've been working on that Mitchell embezzlement for 3 months, day and night. Now that it's over, I think you'd want to celebrate.
Well, I do, dear, I do. But I don't know just what this new assignment will involve.
Oh, this is it. This is absolutely the end. You can change your job or change your wife, Frank.
Oh, no,
I thought I married a man, not an accounting machine.
I guess I do seem like an accounting machine to Betty sometimes. Maybe she should have married a different kind of guy. Someone who likes to go out dancing and to parties all the time. And who has some kind of romantic career. The quiet life she had with me made her tense and nervous. No, more than that. Neurotic. Actually, the work I did was rather interesting, although she didn't feel that way about it. Being an investigator for the accountancy branch isn't exactly like being one of those detectives as smart as Einstein and as tough as Marciano, but we do get into some unusual situations. And now there was this new assignment the chief had given me.
All I want you to do is see him, Frankie. You can be normally curious, but that's all. If you question him, make it simple. And if he gets cagey, cut it out. You're not going as an agent. You're just an errand boy. Take what he hands out and bring it back. Get on it right away.
Although I got there early, the waiting room was filled with about 40 people. 40 people who seemed to have everything from Parkinson's disease to muscular atrophy. In 40 years, I'd never had anything wrong with me but a post-nasal drip, but I was prepared with the symptoms of an obscure ailment. I didn't have an appointment, but I had hardly sat down when the receptionist came over and ushered me into the office.
I'll be with you in just a moment. Please sit down.
Thank you. This is good of you, Doctor, but I was perfectly willing to wait my turn.
Well, I'm entitled to use my own discretion. You're an interesting case. And please don't call me doctor. In the healing profession, that title's reserved for those who have taken the Hippocratic Oath. My name is Trancor.
Mm-hmm. You said I'm an interesting case. How do you know about my case? You've never seen me before.
My receptionist has intuitive diagnostic ability. Now, what are your symptoms?
It seems you should be able to tell me.
Well, let's say the recital is part of the treatment. But if you'd rather not bother, just take this capsule in water.
But this is ridiculous. How do I know?
You don't. I make no claims. You can take the capsule or leave it. How many tokens, how much money do you have with you?
Now, listen, Doctor.
No, I'm not a doctor. How much?
Oh, about $50, I suppose.
Well, give me $25 for the capsule, which you take on faith. If you take it, well?
All right, I'll take it. I'm afraid that's all there is to report, Chief.
That's all right. All we really wanted was the capsule.
Have you gotten the report?
Yes, and it took the laboratory 5 hours to break it down. Just a harmless protein solution. 2 other investigators got the same thing.
What about the genuine patients?
They get a solution of water and a vegetable dye. They're both useless, but when he spots an investigator, he tries to give our lab man a headache.
Well, if he prescribes useless medicines, can't Trancor be booked for fraud?
How? He doesn't make any claims for the blaster thing.
How come he's on our level? Why the accountancy branch?
Could be anybody's case. But every time a direct law enforcement agency has tried to investigate, the man has disappeared. They think we may be more discreet.
What else do we know?
A great deal. Then again, nothing. We have reports from law agencies and medical societies in London, Paris, Berlin, and Prague. Oh, that reminds me. Miss Hance, please ask Sir Greville to come in now. He sets up in business. Word of his cures gets around, he becomes a sensation, and then disappears. Thank you for waiting, Sir Greville. This is Frank Pake, who will be in charge of our investigation.
How do you do?
Frank, this is Sir Greville Gray, chairman of the English Medical Association.
How do you do, sir?
Suppose you tell Pake your own experience with Trancor, Sir Greville.
Well, after conferring with my colleagues in other countries, I managed to have an interview with him when he set up shop in London. He's an impudent little devil, called me the chief witch doctor. When I said we'd prosecute, he flatly denied that he practiced medicine at all.
What about the capsules?
He said he simply offered the capsules because people expected something material. He said it made no difference whether they took them or not. In a word, he disclaims everything, even success.
Perhaps legally he's in the clear.
You mentioned his success. Do you credit him with success?
I think he's a faker and a fraud. But some reputable doctors report that their own patients seem to have been cured of advanced leukemia, peritonitis, and appendicitis. That's why we must investigate these fantastic rumors as a professional and public duty.
Just what do you want me to do, Chief?
Find out all you can. Have them watch. Check with patients and stay with it. He may disappear at any time.
This is a fine time for an assignment like this. My wife is about ready to get a psychiatrist or another husband.
I'm sorry, Frankie, but you're the only one I can trust on a thing like this, and it shouldn't take long.
Okay, Chief. You have a cigarette? Mine seem to be all gone.
No wonder. You smoked half a dozen while we've been talking. Here.
Thanks. Yeah, I guess I do smoke too much. Probably what causes this post-nasal drip. But... Say, that's funny.
What?
My head is cleared up. My nasal drip is gone. Since I saw Trancor this morning.
Yeah? Oh, it probably cleared up by itself.
But I've had it for years. Well, I hope you're right. Now, look, sweetheart, I know I practically promised, but I can't make it tonight.
I've been hearing that over and over.
But, darling, this is a special case. It's detective work. The police are helping me.
Oh, so you think you're a real G-man now, huh? A big, tough hero running around with a bottle of rye and a blonde.
Oh, sweetie.
Listen, hero, I hope they shoot first. I'm through.
Oh, it's nothing like that, honey. Now, you're just upset and unreasonable. Well, look, I'll try to be home early. I'll call you.
Don't bother. I won't be here. I heard from an old school friend today, and since you're going to be busy, I may as well go out.
Oh, but baby,
I'll
listen.
see you around town. And if you do get home early, don't wait up.
I was alone in the office all evening, thinking about Betty, thinking about Trancor. I remembered Betty's crack about a bottle of rye, so I called the liquor store and had them send up a pint. Every now and then I got a call from a detective saying they were still watching the office. Then there was a call from another detective saying that he had picked up Trancor at the entrance of the office building and trailed him to a hotel just off Broadway. I took down the number and was about to leave when the first detective called again. He said they were still waiting at the office door and that there was still no sign of Trancor. I didn't try to explain. I didn't want to think about it. What could I say? That he flew out the window? I took another drink of rye and went to the hotel. As I got there, a figure came out of the building. I wasn't sure, but I followed him.
Good evening, Mr. Pate. How are your nasal passages?
Fine, thank you. Yes, they're better.
Walk with me, won't you? But first signal your policeman that he needn't follow us.
All right. All right, now tell me something, will you? Am I mad?
No, you're more sane than most. Your higher critical centers are momentarily dulled by fatigue and alcohol, giving full rein to your intuition. An endearing quality when allied with imagination. The saving grace, indeed, of your race.
You're from India, aren't you?
Trancor is a good Indian name. Incidentally, fatigue is a disease.
Now, don't cure me. I don't want to wake up. Let me close my eyes a minute. Are you still here?
Did you expect me to disappear? I could quite easily, by convincing you of my non-presence, as I did when I walked past those men outside my office. Don't you want to ask me some questions?
Maybe I do, but why do you want to answer them? Well, you figure I'm harmless, huh? Like my wife does.
By no means. I went about to conclude my own particular investigation. I would say that you were most dangerous to me. Your imagination is quite highly developed.
You know, all of a sudden, I'm not drunk at all anymore. And I need a drink. Come on, let's go in here.
Very well.
A double rye, please.
The same. Oh, just leave the bottle. That's better. I was thirsty.
You drank half the bottle.
I make sure to eliminate the poisons in the alcohol, thus the toxic effects. As a rule, I don't drink, but when in Rome...
Wait a minute. I remember reading a story once. You're from the future.
Your imagination deserves something better than comic strips to work on. It's fascinating, but depressing to see science negated by superstition. Your concept of time is the greatest superstition.
Well, now, let's go back. You did cure my postnasal drip, didn't you?
The infection was cured by your body. I helped. I can't tell you how unless you have 500 years to spare.
Well, I don't. I haven't got 12 hours to spare. If I'm to save my job, my reputation, or my wife. I do need some answers to a pretty lengthy questionnaire. Who, when, what, why, and where.
You're convinced I'm a telepath?
Well, aren't you?
Not in your sense of the term. When you came into my waiting room, I knew you were not there as a patient. Your presence was in disharmony. As for your name and occupation, they naturally blazed so clearly on the surface of your mind that even your native clairvoyance could read the information.
Well, that takes a load off my mind. Are you too big for me to understand?
We'll see. I'm just looking at that girl over there. What a pity. 3/4 of her right lung is gone.
Yeah? Well, you could put her right.
Well, I could stop the infection. But she would return to that back room full of smoke and dust. She'd still travel on a crowded subway to an overheated office. She'd still starve herself to buy clothes to keep in fashion. I don't have a cure for those things.
Well, that's the first time I've heard you admit you have a cure for anything. What are you, Mr. Trancor?
A healer. That is my profession.
Well, why do you bother to do anything?
Well, even a healer must eat, you know. And field research is expensive. Of course, I could obviously earn sufficient of your tokens for subsistence by gambling. That would not be ethical.
You could teach.
What? Run afoul of your witch doctors? Besides, these techniques have taken me 500 years to learn.
Well, that's why I thought...
That I was from the future? Well, I might be in terms of possibility. We are no older than you are as a race, in terms of universal evolution, but as individuals we are longer lived. The biggest single advance you will make as a race will be when you increase the lifespan of the individual.
You could help us.
We could, but that must be achieved by your own efforts.
Are we so contemptible in your eyes?
Of course not. Would we study you if you were? Our architects, our musicians, even our fiction writers do field work in this territory and write scholarly theses when they return. Anthropology, in our sense of the term, embraces all the arts and sciences. We are scholars. Occasionally, we innovate, and you benefit.
Why do you want to tell me this?
Frankly, I like you. You have imagination enough to control your terrestrial chauvinism, your natural resentment of being studied. It may comfort you to know that in the physical sciences, your race is considered quite well advanced.
Well, thank you. And come to think of it, I do resent being a bug under your microscope. I hate it. I could kill you.
But you won't. Others would. Now you understand why our visits are unannounced. Will be until all men are as essentially civilized, that is to say, non-aggressive, as you are.
How do you come here?
I know what you're wondering. But no, I don't have a spaceship garaged anywhere. You see, we don't travel. We arrive. Afraid the distinction is not clear to you, but it'll have to do. Now, I must go to work. I have only 8 hours. Will you be my guide?
What do you want to see?
The city at play in the pre-dawn hours.
I think my wife would suit you better in the role of a guide. She's playing pretty hard right now.
This situation makes you unhappy?
Well, yes, of course it does. I guess I'm not overly emotional, but I do love Betty. I want her to be happy. With me. Oh, she frets and nags, and she's hard to please, but she's not really like that. She keeps herself busy with trivial things. It's as if she were afraid of important things.
And what are the important things?
Well, I don't know exactly. Helping people some way or other, I guess.
You have any idea where your wife might be?
Well, there are a couple of nightclubs she likes.
Could we go there a little later? No, don't worry. I promise there'll be no unpleasant consequences if we meet. But now, let's get going.
We made the early morning rounds of Manhattan. The bars, nightclubs, penny arcades. We played a pinball machine, and I watched the steel ball hit the prize number 25 times. We quit bowling after his second straight 300 game, and I didn't even bother to pick up a cue in the billiard parlor. Then we went to the Clover Club, where I saw Betty at a table in a low-cut evening gown. She was sitting with a big curly-haired guy who looked like an ex-football player who was wearing shoulder pads under his jacket.
You see her?
Yes, there she is, in that practically non-existent dress. Would you consider me uncivilized if I poked that big dope in the eye?
Let's go over. And remember, you're not altogether without blame in this development. You make insufficient allowance for her. You're reasonably well adjusted. She is not.
Hi, Betty.
Frankie, where did you come from?
Who's your friend?
Excuse me, please. I have to make a phone call.
Frankie, please get me a cab so I can go home.
Go home? All right, dear.
I'll be waiting for you. Hurry as soon as you can. I mean, when you're finished with your work.
It's beautiful here, watching the lights on the river. How do you feel?
My head is clear, but I'm a little drunk from the neck down. It's like a dream.
I wish sometimes I could escape reality so easily, by imparting to it the patina of a dream. You can all do that. I almost envy you.
Look, the dawn is coming up. The stars are fading.
Yes. It's time for me to say goodbye, Mr. Peck.
But can you Can you at least tell me which star?
You haven't seen it or named it yet. Promise to take care of Mr. Trancour for me, won't you? Make sure that he gets safely home. Find his address in this pocket.
Goodbye, Mr. Trancour.
Yes. Goodbye.
That's the way it happened, Chief. The body collapsed in my arms there on the bridge. When it came to, the man was Chandra Trancour, a second-rate doctor who disappeared from Madras 10 months ago.
How do you expect anyone to believe that?
Those doctors and cops can examine the poor devil till they drive him crazy, but he can't tell them anything. He has less idea where he's been these past 10 months than they have.
How do you explain it?
I don't. And I'd like you to hurry through my resignation, Chief.
That's what you want.
I want to be free to take legal action for Trancour if those witch doctors have him arrested on some phony charge. I'll take personal responsibility for seeing him home to India.
You don't have to resign. I'll fix special leave if you insist on being crazy.
Well, that's not all, though, Chief. You see, I'm taking an intensive 2-year course for a new career.
Yes, you told me. I thought you were drunk. What's Betty going to think of a fool idea like that? If her nerves are on edge now, this is enough to drive anyone daffy.
No. She's all for it. She really is. After all, a neurosis is a disease, and she met Trancour.
Well, all right. Let me know how you're getting along. A letter from Pake, Miss Hance. From the Mabello Medical Mission up at Congo. It's been 3 years since we heard from Pake. This is probably the most backward tribe mentally and physically
in all Africa. Some trouble with the witch doctors at first, but they're beginning to trust me, with Betty's help. The women here love her, and she finds the tribal customs fascinating. Watch out for my name in the Anthropological Review.
You have just heard X-1, presented by the National Broadcasting Company in cooperation with Galaxy Science Fiction Magazine, which this month features Operation Stinky by Clifford D. Simak. What is man's best friend? The answer was so vital that every possible resource that could be found had to be poured into this one great project. Galaxy Magazine, on your newsstand today. Tonight, X-1 has brought you Field Study, a story from the pages of Galaxy written by Peter Phillips and adapted for radio by Jack Wilson. Featured in our cast were Terry Keane, Les Damon, Santos Ortega, Alfred Shirley, and Kermit Murdoch. Your announcer, Fred Collins. X-1 was directed by Daniel Sutter and is an NBC Radio Network production.
Can you identify the NBC Bandstand Jingle Jangler? He or she is a famous personality, and you may win $1,000 if you can identify him. To enter the NBC Bandstand Jingle Jangler contest, send a postcard with your name and address and phone number to NBC Bandstand, Box 515, New York, 19, New York. Enter today. NBC takes you across the nation, around the world, with news on the hour and the hotline service all day, every day on most of these stations.
The Magic Island is once more a dread name to Mrs. Gregory and her little band of friends. When they made their escape from the island through messages carried to another boat by homing pigeons, things looked favorable for a few short hours, but now the future is as black as it could be painted. Recaptured by a Euclidean submarine and being towed back to the island by their submerged captor, Tex Bradford and Jerry Hall are on the deck, wondering what their fate will be. Mrs. Gregory and her daughter Joan are aboard the submarine. As Jerry and Tex notice a sudden list to starboard, the old skipper comes running with the news that they're shipping water through a bad hole in the hull, chopped by the Euclidean who was their prisoner.
You're sure of that, Skipper?
Aye. But how could that guy get loose? He was tied down with everything in the hold.
Wasn't enough, though, Jerry. He's gone. Kicked the side out of our boat doing it. We've got to do something about slapping a patch on that hole, so the submarine won't have to bother to tow us much farther.
Well, let's go and see what we can do about them, Tex.
Hold it a minute, Jerry. Think you and McLeod can get a patch over that hole, Skipper?
Aye.
But without motors, we haven't got any pumps.
No.
Well, shove off, Skipper, and get Mac working on that thing. If you can't stop it, we'll signal the sub to take us aboard.
Aye.
And sound out for us if you can't handle it.
Aye. Gosh, the skipper looks like he'd just as soon drown as get on board that submarine.
Can't blame him much for that, son.
Things look pretty bad, don't they, Tex?
Well, they have looked brighter, but we won't give up.
I hope Mrs. Gregory and Joan are all right in that crazy Euclidean submarine.
Jerry, my optimism has led me into trouble more than once. But I can't believe that we won't find our way out of this somehow.
I'm not scared about it. Well, yes, I am. Plenty scared. But we've been on the island before, and we got away from it. Why can't we do it again?
Well, they won't be disposed to treat us quite so kindly this time.
I don't know about that. Now, look, Captain Bradford, I think there must be some mighty good reason for wanting us to stay alive. Maybe it's your formula for the universal solvent. Maybe it's for what they think we know about our world that they don't know. But whatever it is, if they were going to do anything to us, well, why don't they just sink this boat and let it go at that?
Well, that's one way to look at it, Jerry. And it's pleasant to look at it that way. They may decide to bring a little more pressure to bear on us this time.
You mean torture you into giving them the formula?
I wouldn't put it past them.
But, gee, Tex, you'd give up the formula before you'd let them... Well, wouldn't you?
Yes, Jerry, I'm afraid I would. There's very little satisfaction in being put out of the way entirely. If worse comes to worse, I'll give them the real formula and take a chance on beating them to the use of it.
Well, we'll have to try and make another escape then.
We'll have to do that anyway if they give us a chance, but it won't be so easy now.
Yeah, and they probably won't let us live on this boat.
Not much chance of that, unless they don't trust us on the island. After what you and Joan did to them, they're not sure how dangerous we may be.
Not really dangerous to them. Well, they could get rid of us in a minute if they wanted to.
Sure, but now they don't want to. They wouldn't be taking us back to the island so carefully.
Hey, the boat's riding better now.
Seems to be on more even keel. Mac and the skipper must have been able to stick something in that hole. Riding low in the water, though. We ship plenty of moisture.
Well, it can sink if it wants to, just so we land on something.
I managed to smuggle most of my instruments on this boat with us. They'll take those away the minute we get back to the island.
Well, I guess there's no use guessing. But golly whiskers, I'm nervous about what they're going to do to us.
We won't be in doubt long. At this speed, we'll reach the island in an hour, possibly less.
Hey, Tex. Tex, did you hear that?
I did hear something. Sounded like our radio. Jerry, maybe we've got juice enough left in those batteries to pick up a carrier wave.
No, it wasn't that. It was a ray gun.
A ray gun?
Yeah, one of those Euclidean ray guns, like the two Joan and I took away from that guard we took prisoner.
But where could it come from?
I don't know.
Oh, you must be imagining things, kid. That was a radio squeal.
No, it wasn't, Tex. I've heard all sorts of noises come out of radio sets, but none of them made my hair stand on end like this one did. There's something about the high whine of those ray guns. It sounds... There it goes again.
Yeah, I heard it plenty enough that time. Those things certainly have an unearthly wail. Where did it come from?
It sounded right under our feet.
How could it come from there? Will they work underwater?
Not very well, and not that loud.
I wonder.
What?
That Euclidean guard we had tied up in the hold.
But he's gone. Escaped when he cut that hole in the boat, just about daylight.
He's gone? Where'd he go?
On board the sub, I suppose.
He couldn't have boarded that sub, Jerry. We saw the hatch and the nose open. No one went in there but that woman submarine commander and Mrs. Gregory and Joan.
No, not in the hatch.
Well, where else?
Well, those subs have an airlock. He could have been taken aboard while he was swimming underwater, and we couldn't possibly have seen him.
Then he's been in the water all the time. I remember that we had no power. He could have ridden that rudder post for hours with comparative ease.
But who would he be shooting those ray guns at?
Maybe the skipper or Mac stuck their heads up over the stern.
No, they're still below.
Below, that's it, kid. Scatter for that stern hatch, quick, and walk on your toes now. Don't make a sound.
What's up?
That Euclidean never left this boat.
He what?
I'm sure of it. He knocked that hole in the side to make it look like an escape. Then he hid in the hole until the skipper and Mac fixed the leak. Now that he's in no danger of drowning, he used that ray gun to put the boys to sleep. We'll meet him at the hatch and fix him up with a little nap.
We mustn't use a ray gun on him.
Why not?
Well, the girl sub-commander is supposed to have our ray guns. And if we use one now, this guy will know we still have them.
Good boy, Jerry. You think fast sometimes. All right, now look. We'll sneak up on each side of that companionway. He can't see us till he hits the deck with 1 foot. We'll let him have it.
But his ray gun.
Can't put more than one of us to sleep with one shot. And the other one can have him tapped on the air by that time.
Okay, Tex.
Now, not a sound till we land him.
Yeah. Gee. But that guy was hard to handle. Tex. Hey, Tex.
Feel a little sleepy, Jerry.
Oh, come on. Walk around with me. I'll help you.
That ray gun.
He just about hit the end of your fingers with it. If you try hard, Maybe you can walk it off and stay away.
Not yet, but I'll try.
Oh, come on, then. Try.
Sure, I'll try.
Now, lean on me as heavy as you want to.
How did you fix our friend?
Well, I didn't have anything to hit him with, but I got a chance to jerk his head against the combing. He'll be quiet for a while.
Good boy, Jerry. Is the boat rolling a lot, or are my legs just unsteady?
Well, the water's beginning to boil around this rail. I'll bet that blamed sub is coming up again.
No, it feels like we've lost seaway.
Well, I should have noticed that a long time ago. We're not making any way at all. They dropped our bow anchor. And there goes the nose of the blame thing.
You know, someday that girl's going to tip a boat over. Coming up under it like a whale.
Oh, not that girl. She's too smart. And what she can't do with that submarine isn't worth doing.
You know, Jerry, that's the weirdest sight. End of a sub sticking straight up out of the water and just as steady as a lighthouse.
Hey, here comes the commander. I can see her hand coming up on the bow platform.
Yeah, and you still insist that girl is a friend of ours?
I know she is. Now sit up straight as you can.
All right, but I can't see very well, kid.
Keep your face pointed toward the noise of her voice. I'll do the talking.
What is the meaning of this?
Oh, meaning of what?
That boat is becoming harder to move. I should think, Hall, that you would realize the hopelessness of your situation by this time and attempt no foolish moves.
Well, we can't help it if your Euclidean prisoner escaped and cut a hole in our boat, can we?
Where is the Euclidean guard now?
Oh, he's back there at the stern somewhere.
And what is he doing?
Taking a little nap last time I saw him.
Have you nothing to say, Captain Bradford?
Well, no. The captain, he's,
I understand perfectly. The captain is asleep.
He's mighty tired.
You haven't forgotten my teaching so quickly, have you, Hall? A ray gun will register on my instrument.
Yeah, that's right. Well, you know what's the matter with Tex, then? That Euclidean we thought was safely tied up in the hold was hiding somewhere in the boat, and he used his ray gun on the engineer and our skipper. And when we tried to catch him, well, Tex got a little of it, too.
What was the size of the gun?
Well, one of those little 300 seconds, like we've, like we had once.
That is well. And the guard is where now?
Well, he got rough with us back there near the engine room hatch, and I had to bump his head on the combing to keep him quiet.
You will do well to guard him closely until I deliver you safely to G47. That man will not hesitate to harm you.
No. I suppose you think old G47 is going to give us a picnic.
G47 will give you what he thinks your case warrants. Is the leak in your boat sufficiently repaired to indicate possibility of successfully towing you to Euclidia?
Well, it stopped leaking, if that's a big enough answer for you.
Your attempts to converse with me as an equal are rather futile, are they not?
Maybe so, but I get 'em said.
You have said far too much. I will resume my position under your bow, and the bow anchor will be picked up by the stern magnetic fin. We will reach the island in 1800 seconds.
Oh, half an hour, huh? Okay, Skipper. We'll hang on. How are Mrs. Gregory and Joan?
They are in my care.
That might mean anything.
Indeed, it might.
Whisker. Now, this is a fine pickle. McLeod and the old skipper asleep in the hold, and Tex sleeping on the rail, and, well, if that guard starts up this way, I hope I can handle him.
I'll help you, kid.
Oh, gee, Tex, are you all right?
Well, I have felt better, but I'm waking up a little, and I can tell what goes on around me.
Well, the sub has gone under again, and she'll be picking up our bow anchor any minute.
How much time did she say we had before we get to the island?
Half hour. Why?
Well, we might have a chance to plan a little something, but the hope isn't very strong.
And that Euclidean back there at the stern won't stay asleep much longer. If that's only a 300-second ray gun, he ought to be coming out of it now.
That sub just picked up our anchor?
Yeah, we're starting to move now. And the commander said only 1,800 seconds to Euclidean.
No, forget the 1,800-second stuff, Jerry. Let's talk like white people for the few minutes we have left.
Well, that stuff gets me, though. I'm getting so I talk just like those Euclideans.
Yeah, not exactly, but...
Hey, Here comes that Euclidean guard, sneaking around the corner of the aft cabin.
I can't see very well. Has he got his ray gun?
Sure he has.
Then you'll have to use yours if he crowds us.
But that way, he'll find out we have them.
And he'll find it out anyway if he puts us to sleep and searches us.
Tex, wait a minute. I think we're going to be all right.
What's going on?
The old skipper. He's in his bare feet, sneaking up behind that Euclidean.
Has he got a gun?
No, but he's got a monkey wrench. And he's going to use it. Oh, boy, what a sock.
Did the skipper get him, Jerry?
I'll say he got him. And he'll be asleep longer than any of those ray guns would be good for. That old skipper can sure use a monkey wrench.
Back to the Magic Island. That strange artificial island called Euclidia, which held the Gregory party prisoner for so long, is to become their stopping place once more. When Mrs. Gregory, Joan, Jerry, and Captain Bradford made their escape on a small cabin cruiser, with their faithful old skipper and the Scotch engineer McLeod, all seemed well. But the Euclideans are not so easily beaten. The submarine, commanded by the beautiful young woman whom the Euclideans call Commander, has brought them back to the island. The surface of the island is above water now, and apparently the Euclideans feel no danger near them, as Euclidia is open to view from all sides. Jerry and Tex Bradford are standing at the bow of the boat as they drift slowly but steadily to the island.
Gee, Captain Bradford, this is almost like it was the first time we landed here.
Yes, Jerry, except that we had high hopes then.
Well, we're not done yet.
That's right, we're not whipped. Things could look more pleasant.
It feels just as weird as it did that first time. The boat without any power, being pulled to that island just as smoothly as if they had a line tied to it.
They might as well have one. That eternal magnetic force will pull in any boat on the ocean. They must feel mighty sure of themselves today. They're not using the magnetic fog ring around the island.
Yeah, I noticed that, too. And it's a clear day. Say, there isn't a soul in sight on the island.
Our arrival can't be of much importance.
I'll bet it's plenty important.
That sub must be docked down there by now.
Well, sure it is. They ram the nose of that thing right into an airlock on the side of the island and unload through the nose. Gee, I wonder where Mrs. Gregory and Joan are now.
That woman commander has probably turned them over to G-47 for questioning.
Oh, I wish you and I could be there to help them out. You know, it needs a man at a time like this.
You're right, Jerry. But I'm afraid we'll be some time getting back together.
Well, they may keep us apart from now on.
Wouldn't surprise me a bit.
We're going to have a harder time escaping.
We'll have no chance at all to escape. Jerry, our only hope will be to take over this island, and that's a job.
Well, I wish they'd start something. This dragging along up to the pier without seeing anyone move on the island is getting on my nerves.
Somebody will be out to take care of us. Don't be in a hurry for your punishment.
Now we're sliding along the pier, and the boat is being warped in as carefully as you could do it with a line.
Not quite as impressive as the first time they did it to us, though. We've seen it before.
Hey, Tex, look.
That magnetic fog ring being thrown up around us now, eh?
Yeah, and all around the island.
When that fog closes in, you can feel the power of this mad island.
You know, Euclidia becomes mighty real, all right, when you see them shutting us off from the world just as easy as we turn off the gas jet back home.
And I think we're going to get our welcome before long.
Why?
Isn't that one of their elevator housings rising up out of the island?
Yeah, but that's funny. There wasn't any elevator there when we were here before.
Steady, Jerry. Things are wild enough here without allowing yourself any daydreams.
Well, I know what I'm talking about, Tex. That elevator wasn't there when we were here before. They must have built it.
Jerry, when we were here before means last night.
Huh?
Don't you realize we've been off this island only a matter of hours?
Golly whiskers. You're right. And they couldn't have rebuilt that island and stick in another elevator shaft that fast.
Of course they couldn't. So you must be mistaken.
No, I'm not mistaken. I don't know how that elevator got there so quick, but there wasn't any elevator on this side of the island yesterday.
Wait a minute. I've got it, kid. We're coming in from the south this time.
Oh, no, we're not. And you know we're not. That island's been turned around.
Turned around?
I'm not dreaming, Tex. Look at the position of the defense chambers and the main radio room. And look at this pier. It's on the north side of the island. Just the same position they pulled us into before. But it isn't the same pier.
But you realize what you're saying, Jerry.
Sure I do.
Then you think they can move this island? I don't mean just submerge it and then raise it again as we saw them do. I mean actually move the entire island?
I'm as sure as I'm standing here that they've already moved it.
Huh. And we're going to escape from a setup like this? Huh.
Maybe we'd better not talk any more about what we're going to do. Here comes the Euclideans.
Say, that was an elevator. There's an even dozen men coming over here.
And every one of them are carrying those big ray guns.
They're not just sleep producers like the ones we...
Careful.
Sure.
No, those guns put you to sleep so you won't wake up at all.
Then listen, we'll do exactly as they say.
Wait, this spooky place is beginning to get me going again. Look at all those fellas walking right up to us. And their heavy shoes not making a sound. You know, they're walking on rocks.
It's that noiseless paint again. Well, our freedom is over, son. Now keep your chin up.
Right. And I'll let you do all the talking.
Yes, I hope they give me a chance to talk. Their faces don't look as if they'd come for a friendly chat.
Oh, let them start it.
Good idea. Well?
Guess we just stand and look at each other.
Well, what do you want us to do? Won't somebody say something?
I will.
Better not, Jerry.
Oh, at least they can loosen up enough to make motions.
Yes, and they want us to come over on the pier.
Wonder if they'll let us get McLeod and the skipper, too.
How about our friends? Do we bring them along?
The answer is no. And they're getting tired waiting for us, I'm afraid.
Well, we may as well go. Now, look, don't make any passes at them.
Don't worry, I won't. Boy, those old footsteps sound pretty good. You may not hear any more of them for a long time.
No, that soundproof paint will spoil all that.
Well, here we are. What now?
Follow you? No? Oh, I see. Get in the middle, son.
Nice place to be with a ring of those ray guns all around us. Hey, I don't need to stick that thing into my ribs.
Easy, Jerry. They want us to go along with them. Let's go and save our conversation for some other time.
Yeah, if we get a chance to use it at all. All right, I'll keep quiet.
I don't see any reason why we can't talk. Everyone on this island can hear us, so they don't have to worry about anything we might say.
Well, I guess we can talk all right, just so as we don't get in the wrong cracks.
And we'd better say nothing.
Say, that is a new elevator. Are we going down in that thing?
No questions, kid.
No answers either. But it looks like we are.
We are.
You never had a ride in one of these things, did you?
Not as many as you and Joan had.
You know, some of them do tricks with you.
Well, these kind gentlemen are going to ride with us, Jerry. They'll probably experience nothing out of the ordinary.
Watch this operate now.
I'm watching.
And listen, wait till the big magnet grabs the car. You can count the floors as we pass them.
Jerry, we're dropping now.
Yeah, and I didn't hear any magnet.
That's more like a hydraulic to me, or compressed air.
My stomach tells me we're going down pretty fast.
At least I haven't been able to count any floors.
Oh, boy, what a ride. Ooh.
Looks like we get out here, Jerry.
I wonder which level we're on.
Our steps sound awfully loud here. All right, fellow, I'll go. No need to get so rough about it.
You know, G47 has told these boys to handle us pretty rough.
Yeah, they're doing it. Might as well go where they want us to.
Well, I never saw this part of the island before. Hey, Tex.
What?
Listen.
To what?
To our voices. We're in one of those blame echo chambers where everything sounds about twice as loud as it is.
There is a hollow ring to it, all right. Well, this is the end of the passage, so I judge we'll stop here.
I think they want us to go on in.
We go in without you? Okay. Come on, Jerry.
Well, at least we're alone.
Yes, with about 100 microphones picking up every sound we make, I suppose.
I wish we could get out of this blame echo thing.
What are we supposed to do here, I wonder?
Well, this looks like a little hall, and I can see 4 doors. Let's start knocking on doors and see who lives here. We're in a steel cell, and that's for sure.
Yes, the way that door clanged shut behind us didn't leave much doubt as to that.
Think it's all right if I knock on the door?
Might as well find out where we are.
Okay, here goes. Golly whiskers.
You shouldn't knock so hard, Jerry.
I didn't. I just...
Oh, Tex, dear.
Are you all right?
Oh, it's right. Joan and I are all right, Tex, and you and Jerry?
Not hurt a bit, Pat.
Our outlook has not been particularly pleasant during this enforced separation. Your welfare has given us some concern.
Well, you're okay, Joan. Whenever you start to unwind the dictionary, I can tell you're right side up and ready for another round.
It does seem as if your attempts at conversation grow more confusing and illogical with each attempt.
Oh, is that so?
Now, you two kids stop quarreling.
Oh, I don't mind it, Tex. The last few hours have proven to me that I can stand anything if only we're all together.
How much chance have we to stay together on this island?
Our hurried observations made during a brief tenancy of this apartment would warrant the conclusion that we will all be confined in this series of chambers, with many privileges.
You couldn't work in something about the privilege of escaping, could you?
Quiet, Jerry. Someone may be hearing all we say.
We know they are. Jones says these walls are made of transparent steel and that they can watch us from the outside at all times. But I see no reason why we shouldn't talk as we please. G47 and his assistants will know that escape is our one thought.
Yeah, and that's probably a lot of wasted thinking.
Indubitably.
Probably all's all right.
Now, will you two be quiet for a minute? Do we have a chance to look around? How about closing this door?
It's not necessary. That short outer hall is ours, and we have 4 private rooms here, all connected by the hall.
Well, it looks as if we're going to be comfortable for the present.
And there is a refrigeration chamber well stocked with food and appliances for its preparation. It would appear that we are to be left alone to our own devices, for the time at least.
Good. Maybe we can figure something out. If we only had our stuff off the boat.
We'll have that, Jerry. The submarine commander told us our possessions would be brought to us in time.
Yes, after G47 has looked them over carefully, of course.
The little homing pigeons we are to have here.
Golly whiskers, that's swell.
What good will the pigeons do us, Jerry? Don't forget, we're 90 feet below the surface of the ocean, in a steel chamber on an artificial island.
It doesn't sound like much of a picnic when you add it up that way, Pat. Pigeons or airships. Nothing can do us much good here.
Well, they must be going to do something with us. What is it?
This confinement with the continuous reverberation of our voices will rapidly reach the state of exquisite torture.
Joan, dear, you think this terrible echo is deliberate? A method of punishment?
I know it is, Mother. During my lifetime on this island, many people have been placed in these echo cells, and it is only a short time until they will do anything G47 desires to escape from their own voices.
Yes, I can see how that would work. It wouldn't be long until the sound of voices here would drive one mad.
Oh, gee, we've got to talk, or we'd go mad anyway.
Exploring tomorrow.
And now here is your guide to these adventures of the mind, the editor of Astounding Science Fiction magazine, John Campbell, Jr.
We all believe pretty solidly that sooner or later almost any problem you name is going to be solved. So apparently all you'd have to do is just sort of stand by, and if you could wait, it would be solved for you. I don't think that works right. There's another thing to consider.
Exploring Tomorrow is presented by the Mutual Broadcasting System in cooperation with L&M, today's most exciting cigarette. L&M smokes cleaner, tastes best. Live modern, smoke modern L&M. The Kraft Foods Company, makers of delicious new Kraft jellies and preserves. And Cape Coral, a beautiful waterfront wonderland on the western coast of Florida. In a moment, John Campbell returns with the story of Time Heals. If you're like most couples, you want the retirement years to be as rewarding as any in your lives. Years to do all the things you put off while the children were growing up. Well, those years can be rewarding if you start saving now. And the simplest way to save is by joining the payroll savings plan. Here's how it works. First, decide how much you want to put aside each week. Then, this amount is automatically set aside from your paycheck each payday and put into United States savings bonds. Today's Series E bonds are better than ever because the interest rate is higher, 3.25%, and because the maturity is under 9 years. Now you can get more faster. So, make sure your retirement years are happy ones. Join the payroll savings plan where you work today. This message is brought to you as a public service.
Animals have trouble when it's cold. Of course, they grow warm fur. Human beings have gotten around the problem of having to grow that fur and not being able to get rid of it in the hot weather by using clothes instead. Now, that solved that problem very neatly. Of course, it did bring in the different problem of having to make clothes and having to figure out ways of raising cotton or wool. You know, when you do solve a problem, sometimes it involves setting up a complex thing to make the solution, and that may be a tougher problem than the problem you started with. Let's consider a fellow who tries walking out of time when he has a problem.
Our last night together.
Oh, I don't know, Dorothy, not necessarily. I might come out of that time field a year from now.
Or 50 years from now, when I'm old and tired and ugly, and you'll still be young. No, I think I'd rather you waited at least a century.
The traditional period in Elf Hill, I believe.
But, Jim, let's stop pretending to be so calm and gallant. There are only the two of us here. Let's just curse our luck for the vile thing it is.
There's also the champagne here. Mustn't shock the champagne. I'll open the next bottle.
Oh, but you have to be flip every minute, even now. Tomorrow you won't be Jim Hart, bright young advertising executive, wit wolf, an idol of Manhattan's more high-priced intelligentsia. Tomorrow you'll be frozen in a block of frozen time. Can't you let down the mask just for tonight?
But you see, my dear, there is no mask. This is me. I dare not admit anything else. I'll get that champagne. Oh, forgive my choice of music. Childish, perhaps, under the circumstances, but I'm entitled to a little melodrama, am I not? After all, this is literally a life and death proposition for me. The crypt is right at the end of this corridor, Mr. Hart. Pretty far underground, aren't we, Doctor? Yes, besides being way off upstate. It's in case of, atomic bombs, rising sea level, whatever might happen. After all, this place may have to last for centuries. What's your trouble again, Mr. Hart? Inoperable cancer. My family physician said I'd be dead within a year, unless a cure can be found. And that, of course, is what the crypt is for. Someday a cure will be found. Until then, you will lie here, snug, safe, unchanging, not even conscious of time passing in the outside world. Time heals all wounds, they say. And time is what we have the most of here. This is it. Just step up on that platform between those field coils. I'll flip a switch, and the next thing you know, you'll be in the future. Good enough. Mr. Hart, I was wondering if you have any last messages or... No, I said all my goodbyes yesterday, such as they were. I've had the sense to keep myself legally and emotionally unattached. Well, that should certainly give you an advantage over most of our patients up there in the future, whatever the future is like. Good luck, Mr. Hart. Thanks. But we needn't be so theatrical. You may need luck more than I, Doctor. Here goes, then. Goodbye.
Exploring Tomorrow continues in just a moment.
Hello, everybody. This is Bill Stern, and I'd like to tell you about a tropical paradise where living is so easy that I intend to settle down and stay there for the rest of my life. The name of my dream city is Cape Coral on the unspoiled western coast of Florida. Just picture 2,000 acres of high, dry pine and palmland honeycombed with 50 miles of navigable waterways just teeming with fish they write books about. Boating and fishing facilities, private country club and yacht anchorage, a planned 18-hole golf course, tennis courts, and many other luxuries. You can buy a large 80 by 125-foot home site for only $990. Only $20 down and $20 a month and live here like a king on a retirement budget, or purchase now for possible profitable resale later. The complete Cape Coral story has been compiled for you in easy-to-read literature. It's yours free of charge. A postcard's all you need. Send it to me, Bill Stern. So long for now. I'll be seeing you at Cape Coral, Florida.
To get your free literature, write Bill Stern, Cape Coral, Post Office Box 230, New York 18, New York.
It's certainly a reasonable proposition. If a man can just step outside of time and wait. Sooner or later, they're going to develop methods to handle the problems that are facing him at the time. They will develop cures. The advance of civilization is sure to lead to a cure of the particular problem man has. That's a simple proposition, isn't it?
All right, no. Do can do step. I reckon.
What? But it's gone. The doctor.
Do understand me?
The crypt. It's changed. Half empty. Crumbled plaster. Old. And those two men down by the controls, what? Why, they look half Oriental. They're wearing kilts. Future. What year is this?
Oh, Almeric Walworth. Yeah.
What year is this? What year is this?
Todd Hart. You are Todd James Hart, are you not? It so says on the record.
Yes, I'm James Hart. And you?
I am called Hallam Rostam Dougal. My kitman here, he is called Walder Rostam Chang. We both belong to the Rostam kith. Do you understand?
No, I don't.
Be calm. It are a shock, I know. Here, lean on my arm.
I never expected so suddenly. What year is it?
2837.
What? 900 years.
Yes. There were dark ages and upheavals, and then during interplanetary era, the mechaniclastic government did not wish. But be assured, Tough Heart, we are friends.
Can you cure me?
Oh, yes. We have a quick and easy cure for your disease. A synthetic virus which attacks only cancer cells. A month or two in the hospital, and you will be well again.
Well, that's good to know. That was the whole reason for my junket after all. 900 years.
I suggest we all go up to the surface now. The clinic is nearby.
All right. Say, how do you happen to speak my language, and your friend here doesn't?
Naturwise. Language changes in 900 years. Walder asked I should come interpret until you have learned modern speech. I am a linguist at Interkith Treaty Foundation. Most especially, I have studied the Old American language.
Old American?
Good morning, Tough Heart. I am your new nurse.
Well, hello there.
Tough Heart. I didn't know that you'd already learned the present-day language.
Oh, I've had several weeks with nothing else to do. Sheer desperation drove me to study it.
You must relax to get well. You know, good sir.
Oh, sure. Sunshine, fresh air, books, music, that's it. That's all I've seen. You don't even show television programs.
It was decided by the philosophic treaty 100 years ago that the unity of the family and hence the kith was impaired by external entertainment.
I've heard that sort of thing a million times. I'm sick of it. I can't even get a smoke in this dump.
Smoke?
Tobacco, nicotine. Puff, 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 puff.
Oh. A chemipotent aerosol. No, I'm afraid, sir, that the biotech machine has not prescribed it for your case.
Oh, never mind. Well, at least you're a new face around here and a remarkably pretty one. What's your name?
I can't see that that's relevant, sir.
Of course it is.
My public name is Sarah Olaf Brona.
Well, don't be so stiff and formal. Come over here. Sit down. I won't bite. Not very hard, anyway.
You're convalescing fast, I see.
Oh, sure. I'm practically a new man. Emphasis on man. Girl like you reminds me of that acutely.
I'm afraid I don't understand. Your usage is semantically empty.
Boy. Look, darling. Look, I want to get better acquainted, that's all. I'm lonesome.
I shall consult the psychotechnic files, and if there's anyone registered with a compatible individuality, I will ask him to come discuss with you.
Discuss with me? Oh, thanks. That'll be just great.
Exploring Tomorrow continues in just a moment.
This, my friends, is the modern sound in music. Swing turned into bop, and bop turned into progressive jazz.
Like into that live modern flavor. Live modern with the big red L&M.
L&M. Best taste and smoke you'll ever find. Made from the Southland's finest cigarette tobaccos. And you get that full, rich flavor coming at you through the miracle tip. Pure white inside, pure white outside. The patented filter. The patent number on every pack guarantees a more effective filter on today's L&M. L&M smokes cleaner. Tastes best. Light into that L&M flavor. You're really living when you do.
Yes, it's a simple proposition that if you just wait around, they'll find a cure for your problem. The trouble with the proposition is that it's a little too simple. The other half of the proposition is they'll find other things, too. They'll find other problems to work on. They won't be interested in the type of problems you've been used to.
Ah, Tobe Hart. It is a pleasure to see you well again. Please honor me by accepting a seat.
Well, thanks, but you wouldn't have anything I could really sit on, would you? I mean, I can't get used to this hard, low-legged stuff you call furniture nowadays.
Oh, my apologies, sir. I imagine one does need a lifetime to become habituated to a complex of postures.
Oh, well, forget it. It's a nice place you've got, Tobe Allen.
Well, pardon me, sir. One friendly word of advice. It is considered rude to compliment a man on his home.
That's why I've come to you, Mr. Tobe Allen. Look, you've studied the history of my own period. You may be able to help me. The rest, they're very polite, but I'm frozen out. I just don't fit in. Everything I do seems to offend somebody, somehow.
You feel yourself isolated?
Well, I made my own way. In the 20th century, I had friends. At least I knew a lot of people. I knew my way around. I was well-to-do. Here, I'm living on a pension out of the charity fund. I'm not invited anywhere because I don't know how to behave. Your conversations, your ceremonies bore me stiff anyway. It was politely explained to me that I haven't a good enough heredity for any kids to consider me as a marriage prospect. What did you take me out of the crypt for? Why did you kill me if I'm to hang around here doing nothing for the rest of my life?
Oh, please, Tobe Hart, relax. I beg you.
Well, give me something to do. Just give me something to do. I'll prove myself. I can start with some simple job, work my way up, study, learn. I'll show you what I can do if you just give me a chance. From the weather station. From the one-man crew of a weather station on the Greenland ice cap. Supply rocket wants someone when I give them all my reports. They try to make conversation. But what is there to talk about? All the snow I've been looking at. What the beautiful aurora up there in the night sky. The half-a-year night sky. Oh, sure. I'm sure they would discuss the aurora according to the soundest aesthetic semantics. All right, shut up, you practice the... They're dead. They stopped. Do you hear me? How much do all the machines in this place do anyway? How much do they know? I'm one little man among 1,000 machines. How can I know what they're thinking in those steel-brained cases? All I can do is copy numbers off their dials onto a printed form. Well, why isn't there a machine to do that, too? Why am I here at all? Charity, sure, make work. wash that bottle.
At least they have the decency to leave
me some bottles. Here, I know I left it. Well, why quit anyhow? Here's a snug home, ample food, books, plenty to read, plenty to drink. Man, I got it made. There's even a pretty good ten-ounce tape here somewhere. It's going to be ten-ounce. Only no green leaves will ever spring out of me. Don't say it in German. Sure. Dead language. English is a dead language, too. I'm a dead language. Well, that's the way the civilization crumbles. Drink up, Dorothy. Here's to us.
Doesn't move. He doesn't move at all, nurse.
Leave him in his seat, please. It isn't far to go now, is it?
No, we'll land at the foot in another half an hour. But what could be wrong with him, nurse?
Obviously some mental breakdown. Nobody seems to know just what.
I think it's called a catatonic state. I don't know. He's insane, at least. The biotech at the Greenland station asked me to bring him back since I knew him best. This sort of thing isn't understood anymore. For better than a century, we've had a well-adjusted civilization. People simply don't go insane. At least not in this rather horrible fashion.
And so no one has any idea how to treat it.
Exactly. Oh, we could try various chemicals and whatever else occurred to us. But we would be working blindly with a grave risk of damaging his brain beyond repair.
So we are putting him back in the crypt.
Yes. The next cycle of civilization. 1,000 years from now, 10,000, 100,000 years. They will know how to cure James Hart.
But will he feel any more at home with them than with us?
Less, I should think. So he may break down again. So badly that even they can't cure him at that time. Then they will have to put him back in the crypt.
God help him.
God help us all.
John Campbell returns in just a moment. Remember how Grandma used to boil jellies and preserves on the stove in the kitchen? What a wonderful aroma. But you know that wonderful aroma was really flavor boiling away. And lots of folks still boil flavor away when they're making jellies and preserves. Not Kraft. Kraft jellies and preserves are cool cooked at temperatures way below boiling to keep the flavor many others boil away. That's why Kraft jellies and preserves have that true fresh-picked flavor. A flavor you can add to your favorite foods. There are so many ways to use these fresh, delicious flavors, such as a mouth-watering strawberry coffee cake. It tells you how in the free recipe folder. Flavor magic for your favorite foods with Kraft Jellies and Preserves. Just write to Kraft Jellies and Preserves, Box 5310, Chicago 77, Illinois. Box 5310, Chicago 77. Do it now before you forget. And be sure to get Kraft Jellies and Preserves. Exploring Tomorrow was presented by the Mutual Broadcasting System in cooperation with L&M, today's most exciting cigarette. L&M smokes cleaner, tastes best. Live modern. Smoke modern. L&M. The Kraft Foods Company, makers of delicious new Kraft Jellies and Preserves. And Cape Coral, a beautiful waterfront wonderland on the western coast of Florida.
as time goes by, things do change, but the fundamental things apply. And the most fundamental of all, really, is you can't walk out on a problem and just let it take care of itself. By the time it gets taken care of, it's ready to take care of you, but good.
Join us each Wednesday and Friday night for a fascinating adventure in Exploring Tomorrow. Heard in our cast tonight were Lawson Zerbe, Connie Lembeck, and Sam Gray. Script was by Paul Anderson. Produced and directed by Sanford Marshall here in New York.
This is Mutual, the world's largest network.
Presenting the transcription feature, Superman.
Look, up in the sky.
It's a bird. It's a plane. It's Superman. Yes, it's Superman, strange visitor from the planet Krypton, who came to Earth with powers and abilities far beyond those of mortal men. Superman who can leap tall buildings at a single bound, race a speeding bullet to its target, bend steel in his bare hands, and who, disguised as Clark Kent, mild-mannered reporter for a great metropolitan newspaper, fights a never-ending battle for truth and justice. But before we join Superman, listen.
And now to our story. Driven on by the radio impulse from a control panel in Wallace Thornton's laboratory, the mechanical man, a 10-foot steel giant, has, within the short space of an hour, struck terror into the hearts of all who encountered him. Lumbering like some prehistoric beast along highways, over plowed fields, and through wire fences, never deviating from his controlled course, the steel monster has reached an orphanage outside the suburb of Linwood. There, Clark Kent, over the strenuous objections of Lois Lane, stands guard before the orphanage dining room where 1,000 children are at lunch. The huge man-made creature plods up the hill, its massive jointed arms swinging, and one blood-red eye blinking in its square steel head. Kent is faced with a problem. To battle the mechanical man, he must drop the disguise of the meek newspaper reporter and appear as Superman. But Lois Lane is watching him from the office of the orphanage superintendent. Will he reveal his double identity to her? Step by step, the steel giant draws nearer, heavy weighted feet thudding on the hard ground. Bracing himself, Kent waits for the towering mechanical monster, keen eyes centered on the robot's massive riveted chest. And then suddenly, a familiar voice sounds close by.
Clark, I had to come.
Lois, go back quickly.
No, I'm going to stick with you. If anything happens, it'll happen to both of us.
Lois, don't be a fool. Go back.
No.
With only a scant 50 feet separating him from the mechanical monster, Kent realizes he can do only one thing: smash the steel giant as Superman, even though Lois will be an eyewitness to it all. But at the very moment he reaches a decision, something is happening in the barn-like laboratory from which the mechanical man first emerged. Wallace Thornton, its creator, struck down by the yellow mask, has regained consciousness. Staggering to the control panel, he throws a switch, turns another dial. A jagged blue spark jumps the gap between two metal rods. And miles away, the mechanical man stops short.
Clark, he stopped, dead in his tracks.
Yes.
Look, his arms are coming up.
No, those aren't his arms. The steel plates on both sides of his body are spreading out like wings.
Look, the top of his head is opening. What's going to happen?
Almost anything can happen. It's uncanny.
What's that?
Hum of an electric motor. Somewhere inside that steel body. Great Scott, Lois. A propeller's coming out of his head. It's spinning.
Clark, he's going to fly.
Get back, Lois. There he goes.
Is he dreaming? This can't be possible.
Get to a phone, Lois, in a hurry. Call the office and give them the story. I'm going to chase that mechanical man in the car. He can't fly fast. I'll come back for you. Get the story.
No, Clark, wait. I'll go with you. Clark, Clark.
This is far enough away from the orphanage. They can't see me. There. Now to get that mechanical monstrosity as Superman before it causes any more damage. Up, up, and away!
Leaping high into the air, Superman wings across the heavens, his amazing vision able to pierce the low-hanging clouds and mark the strange flight of the steel robot. Higher and still higher, until he is above it and can hear its motor purring in the feet of its small propeller. For a brief moment, Superman studies the curious metal monster, now become a trim airship, studies it as the brilliant rays of the sun shine on its steel plates. And then, streaming ahead of it, he suddenly wheels in flight and with the speed of a bullet plunges toward the whirling propeller. One blow of his granite-like fist and the metal blades of the propeller crumple like tinfoil. The monster falters in midair, hangs motionless for a moment, and then, almost like a thing alive struck down in flight, it plummets to the ground thousands of feet below, with Superman diving after it. Down, 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 to end in a thunderous crash. And hours later, in the penthouse hideout of Max Heller, leader of a foreign espionage ring, the Yellow Mask, notorious international criminal, chuckles as he scans the front page of the Daily Planet Evening Edition.
Listen to this, Heller. That Lane girl I was telling you about wrote the story. It's rich. Although reluctant to release any information, the police inferred that the only existing set of blueprints and plans detailing the construction of Wallace Thornton's Mechanical Man were believed to be missing from the latter's safe. That's plain cagey. Believed to be missing. They know they're missing because we've got them. Haven't we, Heller?
Does it say anything else?
Just this. The twisted remains of Thornton's working model of the almost human robot, found in a cornfield where it crashed, are now being examined by a board of mechanical experts. However, little hope is held out that the model can be reconstructed. So badly was it damaged. All in all, Heller, I should say I did a pretty thorough job. You have the only existing blueprints, and the one model is a total wreck. What is there to stop you?
Nothing. Absolutely nothing. We will begin at once to build up the fear and panic already started by the Mechanical Man's unrehearsed exhibition. I have trained men working on the blueprints. Within a week, there will be ready another Mechanical Man.
You didn't waste much time, did you?
Time, mein Herr, is money, and the lives of my people. It cannot be wasted. Our first objective will be the shipyard. But before even we do that, there are steps to be taken. Important steps in the breakdown of morale. We must make that name, the Mechanical Man, feared throughout the country. We must drive people behind locked doors, make them cower and cringe with nerves at the breaking point. We must instill fear. Fear of the unknown, fear of the horrible, fear of life itself. And this is how we shall do it. Now listen closely. Every move is important. We are playing a game of chess with human lives as pawns. Nothing must go wrong.
Yes, Mr. White.
What about that follow-up story in the Mechanical Man story? How long do you think we can hold the presses?
Okay, I'll be right in with it. Work, work, work. No rest for the weary. Now, let's see, where was I? Oh, yes, one line to go. The police are expecting to announce an arrest shortly. There, that does it. Follow-up is no work of art, but it'll have to do.
According to the information from Washington.
Oh, I didn't know you were here, Clark. Well, have you recovered from your experience with that animated sardine can, the mechanical what?
Don't joke about it, Lois. It's a serious matter.
You're telling me. I had that metal man mountain towering over me for a few harrowing seconds. I know how serious it is. Here's the follow-up. Mr. Kent gets quite a plug.
That isn't necessary, Lois. All right. I'll read it and send it down. You can call it a day.
Thanks, Chief.
Well?
Well, what?
Kent and I have something to discuss, Lois. Would you mind...
Sorry. Night.
Night.
Lois. Tony, what could they be discussing that I can't hear?
As I was saying, Mr. White, the information from Washington is fairly complete.
I hate to eavesdrop, but I think I have a right to know what's going on.
What is it?
Of course, you understand this is all confidential.
Oh, not at all.
Well, Wallace Thornton, the inventor of the Mechanical Man, has definitely identified the Yellow Mask as the man who stole the only existing set of blueprints.
That again?
Yes, and it's also been established that Max Heller, the foreign agent, is in this country. In fact, they believe he maintains headquarters in the penthouse of the Montgomery Apartments right here in Metropolis.
Max Heller, Montgomery Apartments.
What's the connection between Heller and the Yellow Mask?
Well, it was Heller who engineered the masked prison break. Evidently, they've joined hands in espionage. Putting the pieces together, it looks as though they're planning to use replicas of Thornton's Mechanical Man to spread terror and destruction in this country.
What a story, Kent. We'd scoop everyone with it.
I know, but it can't be used. I accepted that Secret Service assignment. I agreed to keep confidential information out of print. With your approval, if you recall.
Oh, of course. But it's still a terrific story when we can break it. What's the next move?
I've been assigned to watch Heller. We don't want to arrest the mask until we can involve both of them. As it is, we have no evidence against Heller, save that he's an alien. This time, the Espionage Division wants to get him and get him right.
Be careful, Kent. I don't want you to run any risk.
Well, we're all running risks these days, Mr. White. Part of the battle.
Yes, I suppose so. Well, keep me posted on the
It's
road.
little time at Lois Crime. So, my friend Clark Kent is a special secret service operative, tracking down a foreign spy and trying to steal all the glory. Well, we'll fix that in short order. I'll show you how to land a spy, Clark, old boy. Now that Harry did it, why can't Lois Lane? Max Heller, penthouse, Montgomery Apartments. On your way, lady. Drop me off at the Montgomery Apartments, Tony, and then swing around the corner and wait there for me. I'll be about an hour. And don't keep your meter running.
Okay, Miss Lane.
And remember this, Tony. I'm going up to the penthouse apartment.
Oh, a little cocktail party, maybe, huh, Miss Lane?
It'll be a party, but I don't think they'll serve cocktails. You won't forget, will you? The penthouse.
Don't worry. I got a memory like a giraffe.
You mean an elephant? Well, let it go. That's the Montgomery on the right, isn't it?
Yeah.
Okay, see you in an hour, Tony.
All right.
What floor, please?
Penthouse. Please.
Is Lois Lane, in her eagerness to turn the tables on Clark Kent, stepping into a lion's den? The Yellow Mask hasn't forgotten the part she played in putting him behind bars. Not only that, but Lois's interference may disrupt the carefully laid plans of the Secret Service. Something is bound to happen, so don't miss it. Be with us for the next exciting episode. Tune in and listen. We're the Superman.
Don't forget, tune in again for the next thrilling episode with Superman.
Look, up in the sky.
It's a bird. It's a plane. It's Superman. Superman is a copyrighted feature appearing in Action Comics magazine. Presenting the transcription feature, Superman.
Look, up in the sky.
It's a bird. It's a plane. It's Superman. Yes, it's Superman, strange visitor from the planet Krypton, who came to Earth with powers and abilities far beyond those of mortal men. Superman, who can leap tall buildings at a single bound, race a speeding bullet to its target, bend steel in his bare hands, and who, disguised as Clark Kent, mild-mannered reporter for a great metropolitan newspaper, fights a never-ending battle for truth and justice. But before we join Superman, listen.
And now to our story. As you remember, the notorious international criminal known as the Yellow Mask has escaped from prison to join forces with Max Heller, head of a foreign espionage ring. The Mask, who earned his name because of the yellowish pallor of his skin, has planned with Heller to spread fear and panic by striking at American defense industries. Already, the only existing set of plans and blueprints showing the construction of an amazing radio-controlled mechanical man are in the hands of the two enemies of freedom. But Clark Kent, in reality Superman, has been appointed a special Secret Service operative, not only to recover the mechanical man blueprints, but to get the goods on both Heller and the Mask. However, Lois Lane, star girl reporter of the Daily Planet, overhears Kent telling his editor, Perry White, of the new assignment, and decides to take matters into her own hands. She learns that Heller is suspected of maintaining headquarters in a fashionable metropolis penthouse. Arriving there in a taxi, she tells Tony, the driver, to wait for her around the corner. Unaware that they are about to have a visitor, Max Heller and the Mask are discussing sabotage plans when the buzzer on the ingenious interroom communicating device sounds.
Excuse me. Yes?
There's a woman in the foyer. She wishes to see you.
She gives the name?
Yeah, Gertrude Stein.
Identification?
No.
The signal?
No.
I will look at her. There's a woman waiting to see me.
One of your agents?
Evidently not. She gives no identification and no signal. She says her name is Goethe Stein. I will look her over.
And expose yourself to her?
That is not necessary. Watch closely. I press this button, hidden behind the drapery, and a small panel in the wall opens. Now, look through the opening. Tell me what you see.
A girl standing in the foyer. Well, how's it done? This room is nowhere near the foyer.
An ingenious arrangement of mirrors. Is our visitor attractive?
I can't tell. Her back is turned.
Here, let me look. She's facing us now. Very attractive, I would say. A little nervous and ill at ease. One thing, though, is certain. Her name is not Goethe Stein. Here, what do you think? Look at her. Well?
I've seen that girl before, Helen.
Really? How interesting. Who is she?
I can't place her looking at her this way. The image is too small.
Shall we invite her in?
Wait. I'd like to remain undercover for a while. Someplace where I can observe her without her seeing me.
That is easily arranged. We simply press another hidden button, and a large panel in the opposite wall will open. You will notice, once you have stepped inside, and I have closed the panel, that the eyes in the picture hung on the panel have been painted on thin gauze. You will be able to see through them.
That's perfect.
I shall ask the young lady in. Strauss.
Ja, Herr Heller.
I will see Miss Goethe Stein. Now, to close the viewing device, you may step into the wall aperture. Keep your hands back as the panel slides shut. You ready?
Yes.
You do not have to worry about suffocation. The aperture is air-conditioned.
I was wondering about that.
Now, quiet. Our visitor's coming. Come in, Miss Stein.
Thank you, Herr Heller.
That will be all, Strauss. Won't you sit down, Miss Stein?
Thank you. You must forgive me for my nervousness, but they have been following me. It was difficult escaping them.
Really?
Oh, yes. It was the same in London.
Oh, you worked in London?
Since the beginning of the war.
I see. Well, then, of course, you must know Karl Liebling.
I know him well. It was Herr Liebling who told me to report to you. You see, I'm considered quite valuable since I speak English quite fluently.
And beautiful, if I may say so.
Thank you. Well, I'm at your service, Herr Heller. There must be a great deal to be done here in America.
Yes, a great deal. But first I should like you to meet my colleague, provided he is ready. Are you mine, Herr?
Yes, I'm ready.
Who's speaking? Where did that voice come from?
I will show you, Fraulein, by pressing this little button. Watch. You two have met before, perhaps?
Most assuredly we have. Haven't we, Miss Lane?
I have never seen this man before. And why does he call me by another name?
Drop the phony accent. You're a reporter on the Daily Planet newspaper, and your name is Lois Lane.
The man is out of his mind.
I don't think so.
What do you mean?
Without any corroboration, I would have mistrusted you. You failed to present either identification or the accepted signal. You told me you knew Karl Liebling in London when no such man exists. But you take me for a fool.
But I tell you...
It doesn't matter what you tell us, Miss Lane. I knew we'd met before. I never forget a face. Certainly not a pretty face.
You can keep your compliments to yourself. All right, I am Lois Lane. So what? Two can play at your game.
Yes, but one always loses. And this time you have lost. It is unfortunate the stakes are so high. Very unfortunate.
What exactly do you mean?
I mean simply that you will have to suffer for your impudence. If you had no better sense than to attempt this stupid, childish method of getting information, you will pay for that stupidity, as others before you have paid.
This isn't the first time she's interfered with me, Heller.
It will be the last.
You can't threaten me. Goodbye.
That door is locked, Miss Lane. So is that...
Let me out of here.
Don't upset yourself.
Let me out of here, I said.
I heard you the first time.
Now look here, you two. I'm an American citizen, and this isn't a concentration camp. We're not in Germany now. We're in the United States. You can't pull any of your tricks.
As far as you're concerned, Miss Lane, this penthouse apartment might just as well be in Siberia.
Except that you won't freeze to death. Because we're going to make it hot for you.
Well, that's very funny. But you won't think it's so funny when I...
Then what?
Never mind.
You had best learn, Fraulein, that when I ask a question, I expect an answer.
Take your hand off my arm.
You were about to tell us something of interest.
I changed my mind. Let go of my arm. You're hurting me.
Why did you come here? Who sent you?
Oh, go ahead. Break my arm. Demonstrate how powerful you are. How strong, how courageous.
Speak up.
It's your last chance. You'll crawl like the insect you are when the FBI men get here.
You hear that? She's bluffing. Perhaps. But we cannot afford to gamble on it.
No, don't gamble, Hella. As you said, someone is bound to lose, and this time it may be you.
I would not count on it if I were you, Fraulein. Strauss.
Ja, Herr Helle.
We will leave at once, as usual manner. It is possible there may be visitors after we are gone. Take the necessary precautions. That is all. Now, Miss Lane, if you will be so kind as to accompany us to the terrace.
I find it quite comfortable in here, thank you.
Your comfort is not one of my primary considerations. If you please.
The night air doesn't agree with me.
That is indeed unfortunate. But under the circumstances of no importance, I am sure our mutual friend, the Yellow Mask, will be happy to escort you to the terrace.
More than happy. And you'd better come quietly.
Keep away from me, I'm warning you.
Just take it easy.
You let go of me.
Take it easy.
Put your hand over her mouth.
With her frantic cries for help muffled and unheard, Lois is forced out on the terraced roof of the apartment building. Meanwhile, Tony, the cab driver, having grown impatient, tried to gain access to the penthouse without success. Worried, he drove back to the Daily Planet and enlisted the help of Clark Kent. We join them in the taxi as it races to the apartment house.
The last thing she said was, wait for me around the corner. I'll be down in an hour.
When was this?
10 minutes after 9. Well, I waited, but she didn't show. So then I tried to get up to the penthouse where she said she was going. Nothing doing. I tell you, Mr. Kent, that apartment house is phony. Now, one of them guys can even talk good. They all got foreign accents. The guy that runs the elevator, the doorman, even the superintendent. What kind of a joint is it?
I don't know, Tony, but we'll find out.
I sure hope nothing happened to Miss Lane.
Don't you worry about Lois. She can take care of herself.
I hope.
Why wouldn't they let you up to the penthouse, did they say?
Yeah, they give me a cock and bull story about the place being empty, nobody living there.
Huh?
I knew it was a lot of malarkey because if the joint was empty, why did Miss Lane come right down? That makes sense, don't it?
Certainly does.
Here we are, Mr. Kent.
All right, now you stay in the cab, Tony.
Okay.
Keep the motor running. I'll go around the side of the building, do a little investigating.
You sure you don't want me along?
Positive. I'll be back soon.
Okay.
Only one way to get up to that penthouse.
That's Superman. Well, I could wring Lois's neck for doing this. Not only is she endangered herself, but now it'll take twice as long to get anything on Heller and the Mask. This side street looks dark enough. Nobody in sight. Off with these clothes. And up. Up. There. This must be the terrace. I don't see any lights, but that door should lead somewhere. It's locked. I'll have to force it. There. That does it. Now to look around. It's funny. The place does seem empty. No furniture, no rugs. I wonder whether the lights work. Try that switch. Yeah, it'll work all right. The room's barren. Nothing but four walls. That's what they told Tony, that the penthouse was unoccupied. Still, it doesn't make sense. Where's Lois? Wait a minute. I hear a faint hissing sound. That's either steam or compressed air, but where's it coming from? What? Great Scott. What was that?
Unaware that what he has just heard is mysteriously connected with the disappearance of Max Heller, the Yellow Mask, and Lois, Superman stands in the seemingly unoccupied apartment, staring at the four blank walls. Suddenly he stiffens. His eyes light up. What has he seen? What strange, fearful thing has his amazing X-ray vision shown him? Don't miss the next thrilling episode. Tune in and listen with Superman.
Don't forget, tune in again for the next thrilling episode with Superman.
Look, up in the sky.
It's a bird. It's a plane. It's Superman. Superman is a copyrighted feature appearing in Action Comics magazine.
Kellogg's Pep, the build-up wheat cereal, invites you to rocket into the future with Tom Corbett. Hey, Cadet!
Engine shift. Blast off. -5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0!
As roaring rockets blast off to distant planets and far-flung stars, we take you to the age of the conquest of space with Tom Corbett, Space Cadet. High over the Atom City spaceport, a huge blast-pitted field surrounded by ramps and conical metal buildings, a tiny ball of flame glows softly in the sky. As it grows larger, the blasting of powerful rockets is heard, and finally leaping tongues of flame reach down to ease a great passenger spaceship to the landing ramp. As the hatches are thrown open, two young men in the uniforms of space cadets dash into the ship. Moments later, they step into a small private compartment and snap to attention before a middle-aged man wearing only a robe and slippers.
Space Cadets Tom Corbett and Roger Manning, reporting for duty, sir.
You were sent by Commander Arkwright?
Yes, sir.
Very well. Whose uniform am I to wear?
Mine, sir.
Oh, yes. I see we're the same size. Very well, Cadet Manning, let's get to it. We haven't much time.
Right, sir.
Oh, my suit is there on the bunk. I believe it'll fit you quite well.
Yes, sir. I beg your pardon, sir. I know cadets aren't supposed to ask questions, but, well, we'd sure like to know what this is all about.
You mean, Commander Arkwright hasn't told you?
Not a word. Here's the blouse, sir.
Oh, thank you.
All we were told was to meet you here on this ship, and Roger was to give you his uniform. And then we were to escort you back to Commander Arkwright's office at Space Academy.
Wait a minute. You're escorting me now. That's right. Now, since this may be a dangerous ride, it doesn't seem fair that you shouldn't know why you are risking your lives.
We're what?
Yes. You especially, Cadet Manning, since you're temporarily impersonating me. You see, I'm Barton Reed, a special messenger from the government of Venus. You've been there, undoubtedly.
Oh, sure. Practically a ferry run for us.
Then you know it's an important part of the Solar Alliance. We are now in grave danger.
From what?
I am not at liberty to tell you that. But I have come to get help from the Solar Guard. And so far, there have been 2 attempts to assassinate me since I left Venus.
By somebody on this ship?
Yes. But I've been unable to find out who it is. That's why I made these arrangements with Commander Arkwright.
Wow, he sure hands us some juicy assignments.
What difference does it make? We can handle it. I'm glad you feel so confident, Manning. After all, once we leave the ship, you will be the target.
Oh?
Very well. I'm ready to leave. How do I look?
Fine, sir. Just like a space cadet. You ready, Roger?
Yeah, for just about anything.
I don't understand it. Commander Arkwright said he'd be waiting for us right here in his office. Hey, look at this panel. It's smashed. The teleceiver is out of commission.
What? Something's rotten at Space Academy.
Yeah, Commander Arkwright missing. Now this. Roger, you stay here with Mr. Reed. Don't let him out of your sight. I'm going to Central Security and alert the guard. Don't let anybody in. I'll be right back.
Oh, sit down, Manning. You're making me nervous pacing back and forth like that.
I can't help it, sir. I'm worried. Tom's already been gone 15 minutes. He should have been back long ago.
Now, do you want to go look for your friend?
I think I should. Something's happening around here, and I want to find out what.
Well, don't hesitate on my account. I can take care of myself.
No, blast it, I can't do it. My job is to deliver you to Commander Arkwright and all in one piece.
As it appears now, you may not be able to do that. So I suggest you at least alert the guard.
Yeah, I guess I'd better. But I'll only be gone a minute. In the meantime, don't let anybody in.
Great screaming Saturn, my head. Feels like it's got 16 moons revolving around it. What happened anyway, Roger?
You'll have to answer that, Tom. When you didn't come back to the office, I started looking for you. I found you in a heap here in this corner.
Yeah, but I don't remember anything. I was on my way to Central Security. Then something hit me like a ton of bricks, and I blacked out.
You were slugged from behind. You've got a big lump on your head.
Jumping Jupiter! Mr. Reed, you've left him alone.
Well, I had to when you didn't...
Skip it. We've got to get back to Commander Arkwright's office. If anything happens to Barton Reed, you and I are finished at Space Academy. We're too late, Roger. Barton Reed is dead. He was blasted by a heat ray.
A heat ray? But that's been outlawed for almost a century.
It makes no difference when you're committing murder.
Oh, brother, are we in a spot now? We were supposed to guard him, get him here alive. We might as well hand in our resignations right now.
Listen, let's figure this out. You traded clothes with him, so you'd be the target.
That sure didn't pan out.
Which means the killer knew you and Reed made the switch.
How could he?
He must have been on the ship. Must have been close enough to see Reed in your uniform when we debarked.
Maybe.
And remember, Reed told us there were 2 attempts to assassinate him during the flight from Venus.
All right, you don't have to spell it out for me. The killer was on that flight, but where is he now? It's a cinch we can't track down every name on that passenger manifest.
Of course not. But since his job is done now, there'd be no reason for him to stay on Earth. He'd head straight back to Venus, wouldn't he?
Yeah, he might at that.
And if I remember right, the ship that brought Reed here is headed back into space tonight. Back to Venus.
You want to go aboard her?
Why not?
Well, how can we do it?
The written orders to meet Barton Reed, the ones Commander Arkwright gave us, they were general orders, giving us clearance wherever we wanted to go.
Great jumping Jupiter. You want to use them?
Why not? What can we lose now?
Tom, my boy, you're getting more like me every day. Let me get a new uniform. We either catch a killer or a court-martial.
We'll return to the exciting adventures of Tom Corbett, Space Cadet, in just a moment. So stand by.
Spaceman, if you want to be a good Space Cadet, you've got to know your ship. And that's why the cadets take special courses in spaceship maintenance. You know, I went down to the spaceport repair shop one day and got Tom Corbett to tell me all about it.
Hi there. I'm changing a set of steering vanes in this rocket cruiser. The heat of the exhaust burns them out after a while, so they've got to be changed pretty often. You know, besides keeping these rocket ships in trim, the cadets have to keep themselves in trim, too. That's why we make sure we get lots of exercise, fresh air, rest, and good food. And say, tops with me in that good food division is Kellogg's Pep. I need vitamins just like everybody else. And a serving of Kellogg's Pep gives me a whole day's supply of vitamin D. Pep gives you vitamin B1, too, besides other food values you need to build up strong muscles. And you get all these important food values in a cereal that tastes better than anything you ever tasted. So do yourself a favor, spaceman. Start each day with a big bowl full of Kellogg's Pep. You'll like it.
Well, you heard what Tom Corbett has to say about Kellogg's Pep, Spaceman. But you just wait till you taste that delicious, malty-rich Pep flavor Tom was talking about. You won't need anybody to tell you the best-tasting cereal ever is Kellogg's Pep. P-E-P. Pep.
Assigned to escort Barton Reed, a special messenger from Venus to Space Academy, Tom Corbett and Roger Manning are tricked, and Reed is killed while under their charge. Taking a desperate chance, the cadets set out to find the actual killer. Now aboard a passenger spaceship bound for Titan, Tom meets Roger in their compartment.
I just checked in with the captain on control deck, Roger. He okayed our credentials and our orders. That hurdle is over.
We're on the right ship, aren't we?
Yep, straight out to Venus with a stop at Luna.
Good. Now, what about the passenger list?
Well, I got that, too. Here.
You've checked 3 names.
Right. Each one of those 3 was a passenger on the flight that brought Reed to Earth.
Alexandra Stone, compartment 3, B-deck. The woman in the case. Hey, that's for me.
Cool your jets, son. This is a business trip.
Yeah, monkey business. Let's see. Number 213, York Phillips, compartment 6, B-deck.
And number 315 is Nelson Deegan, compartment 3A deck.
With a name like that, he's got to be the space rat. Well, what happens next?
We wait. I've asked the flight stewards to let every passenger know why we're aboard. I figure that should make our criminal come to us.
Oh, sure, with a heat ray in his fist. Of all that space-happy ideas.
Hey, somebody wants in. Maybe it's our man.
Get ready for trouble.
Come in.
Excuse me. I'm looking for Space Cadets Corbett and Manning.
You're looking at him.
Oh. Well, my name is Nelson Deegan. A few minutes ago, I overheard one of the stewards mention the fact that you were looking for someone. A murderer, to be exact.
What? How in blazes did they know? Roger, have you been shooting off your mouth again?
Oh, me?
Just as well that he did. I can help you. I believe the person you're looking for is aboard this ship.
Yeah? Who is it?
Alexandra Stone. That is the name you're going to give them, isn't it, Deacon?
Hey, pipe the space dolls, huh?
Pardon the intrusion. But I also overheard the stewardess, and I knew Deacon would try to accuse me.
I see, and I suppose you want to return the compliment, Miss Stone. You will say Mr. Deegan committed the murder?
Yes, and what's more, I can prove it.
Well, thank you very much, both of you, but I'm afraid you can't help us. You see, we already know who killed Barton Reed.
You what?
How could you?
I can't tell you any more than that. We'll be ready to make an arrest before we reach Venus.
But why not take him now if you know?
We need absolute proof, Miss Stone. There's a security agent on the spaceship now getting it. So, thanks again, and if you don't mind, we have a lot more work to do.
Oh, very well.
You'll let me know as soon as you make the arrest, won't you?
Oh, sure. You'll know, all right.
Thank you.
Now, Sherlock, would you mind telling me what that song and dance was about?
Well, one of those two was lying. Just came here fishing, trying to find out how much we knew.
Well, what about the other character that was on the passenger list, York Phillips?
Oh, I'm not forgetting him. We'll probably hear from him sooner or later. Oh, getting stuffy in here, isn't it?
Yeah. Crew must be doping off, not keeping any fresh air. Circulating. Makes me sleepy. Hey, you smell anything? No, can't say. Can't say that I do. You're tired all of a sudden. Gotta lie down. Get some sleep.
No. Roger, snap out of it. Narco gas. Putting us to sleep. Roger. Roger, wake up. Come on, snap out of it.
What?
Wake up, will you?
Oh, my head feels like it's full of cotton wool.
Yeah, I'm kind of groggy, too. But shake those cobwebs, will you, fast?
What happened, anyhow? Last I remember, I was so awfully sleepy.
It was narco gas. Fed through the compartment ventilators.
Great galaxy, how long do you suppose we've been asleep?
I don't know. I'm going to ring the control deck and find out right now.
Control deck, Flight Officer Burton.
This is Cadet Corbett in compartment 4A deck. Have we touched down at Luna yet?
Don't give me that space junk, Cadet. You don't know where we are. You ought to be washed out of astrogation school.
I'm sorry, sir, but we fell asleep.
Right on the job, huh? Well, for your information, we left the moon an hour ago.
An hour?
Yeah. Is there anything else, Flash?
Yes. Will you check the passenger manifest? Did Alexandra Stone, York Phillips, or Nestor Deegan leave the ship at Luna?
I thought it was your business to know. York Phillips left the ship.
Oh, thank you. Well, it looks like Phillips is our man. He fed us the gas and beat it.
Yeah, but we've still got to get him. Before he loses himself on Luna, it transfers into another ship.
And how are we going to do that? Jump out of the airlock and swim for it?
No, we're going to borrow the jet boat and head for Luna. Well, this is it. Room 415. Our last chance to find Phillips. We've combed every hotel in this crummy town.
Last chance is right.
Nobody home. Want to walk in?
Well, we've come this far.
After you, Alphonse. Up in Jupiter. Look, Tom, lying on the floor.
Yeah, and there's no doubt about what happened. That heat ray again.
I wonder if it's Phillips.
Well, he must have a passport or credentials of some kind. Now, let's see. Roger, look. His card in his wallet.
York Phillips. Solar Alliance Security Division. Tom, an undercover man.
And I thought I was kidding when I told... By the rings of Saturn, Alexandra Stone and Nestor Deegan. It must have been one of them.
You mean he or she KO'd us with that narco gas, then left the ship at Lunaport and blasted Phillips?
Sure, there was time. The ship laid over for almost 2 hours.
Well, that adds up, but we're left high and dry, and the killer is on the way to Venus.
Well, there's only one thing to do. We've got to catch up with that ship again.
Oh, brother, we're sure working these orders overtime. Let's see if we can thumb a ride at the Solar Guard destroyer base.
Cadets, are you ready?
All set, Lieutenant Martin.
Then stand by at the airlock. We're ready to couple on to the passenger spaceship.
skipper's waiting to take you aboard.
Thanks for slamming us out of here so fast, sir. You were really burning those jets.
Oh, it's not difficult to catch one of those passenger ships. Ready at the airlock now. Remember, you will hear a steady series of signals until the pressure equalizes. Then you can cross over to the other ship. And spaceman's luck to you, boys.
I don't get it, Tom. Since we came aboard, we've covered just about every deck on this ship, and not a sign of the stone down.
Well, there's still the power deck. Come on, down this companionway.
If Deegan's harmed us, help me. I'll turn him inside out.
Well, funny we haven't been able to catch up to him. He certainly can't move as fast as we can.
If he's still carrying her, he may have stuffed her in a locker somewhere.
Well, that's a cheerful idea.
Hey, wait a minute. You see him?
I don't know. But that locker down there, it's partly open.
So what?
Lockers are supposed to be secured during flight, or everything will come flying out during acceleration or deceleration. Come on, we better check it.
Jumping Jupiter, maybe I was right after all.
The right idea, Roger, but the wrong person.
Look, Deegan. Well, what do you know? The space doll packs a wallop. He's out cold.
But not from any wallop. He's been given a whiff of narco gas and stuffed into the locker.
What?
Come on, let's try to wake him up. All right, Deacon. Snap out of it.
He's starting to open his eyes.
That's it, pal. Get on the ball. Come on.
Take it easy, Tom. You'll knock him cold again.
Corbett, man, what happened to you, Deacon?
Where's Alexander Stone?
The bomb. The RDX bomb.
What are you talking about?
She left the bomb on the ship, on the power deck gallery.
She what? But that's crazy. She'll blow herself up with it.
No, she's trying to escape in a jet boat. She told me.
Where is the bomb, Deacon?
Somewhere on the power deck gallery. That's all I know. You've got to find it, or this whole ship will be blasted into dust.
We'll return to the exciting adventures of Tom Corbett, Space Cadet, in just a moment. So stand by.
Spaceman, if you want to start out tomorrow morning with a whistle and a smile, you just hustle on down to the breakfast table and do what the Space Cadets do. Open up a package of Kellogg's Pep and shake out a bowl full of good eating. You say Jumping Jupiter. This is a real spaceman cereal, and you won't be wrong either, because the Space Cadets go for Kellogg's Pep in a big way. You know, besides being a top-notcher for flavor, Kellogg's Pep gives you plenty of fuel for a real energy send-off in the morning. When you rocket off to school or out to play, Kellogg's Pep helps you to travel at full space speed. Pep gives you the help of vitamin D and vitamin B1, too. And you get other important food values. Food values that help you to build up strong bones, strong teeth, strong muscle. Ask your mom to set you up with Kellogg's Pep every morning. Then you'll be starting out like Tom, Astro, and Roger. And whether you're heading out to Saturn's Rings or down to school for a ball game with your pals, you'll be on the ball all the way with Kellogg's Pep. P-E-P. Pep.
Finding Deegan unconscious in one of the space lockers near the power deck of the passenger ship, Tom and Roger realize that Alexandra Stone is the killer they have been looking for. But when Deegan regains consciousness, he warns them that the girl has planted a bomb somewhere on the power deck gallery. Now, racing against time, the two cadets circle the gallery in a desperate search for the bomb.
We'll never find it before it blows up, Tom. It could be any place on the gallery. That RDX is like putty. It could be shaped so we wouldn't recognize it.
RDX has to be exploded by some kind of electrical detonator. We'll check every power outlet up here.
Attention power deck. Attention power deck. Stop all rockets. Crews take emergency stations on jet full deck.
Looks like Deegan contacted the skipper, all right.
Yeah, I hope the passengers and crew can abandon ship in time.
What about us?
We're going to find that bomb. Roger, look, that power outlet.
Huh? Oh, yeah, there's a cable running from it.
Yeah, at least behind this girder. I found it, Roger. Here's the bomb.
No, let me have that cable. I'll pull it out.
No!
Huh?
Hold the bomb. Detonators are rigged that way sometimes to blast if contact is broken.
What if we don't pull that plug? It'll explode anyhow.
Maybe we still have time. We've got to chance it anyhow.
Time for what?
To get the bomb outside in space. Let it blast there.
And how are we going to do that? You haven't enough cable.
We'll make a live splash. Add 50 feet to the cable. Then carry it to the power deck emergency hatch over there and dump it over. You get the spacesuit for me, Roger, and I'll get the cable. Move fast!
How are you doing, Tom?
Be all set as soon as I make this last connection. There. Okay, now. Pull the plug on the short length of cable.
You sure this will work?
I've plugged the long length in the power outlet in the airlock.
and hooked it to the detonator terminals. It should work. Go on.
Okay.
It worked. The bomb is still alive.
But we won't be for long. Let's get it outside of the ship.
Okay. Give me that spacesuit.
Oh, no. Here's where I take over, Junior.
Now, look, Roger.
You look, Tom. See, suit's on already, and here goes a helmet. Now, hand me that bomb.
Okay, pal. And spaceman's luck.
Yeah, what do you want, Tom?
The outer airlock portal opens. Just push the bomb out into space. It'll drift to the end of the cable.
Okay, I got you. But I sure wish the pressure in here would equalize. I don't like the idea of holding a live bomb in my hand.
Can't say I play you, pal.
Okay, pressure's equal. The outer portal's opening.
Push out the bomb. Wait.
Here it goes.
Now, close the portal.
Right.
Roger. Come in. Roger.
Corbett, they caught Alexandra Stone. She's locked in one of the jet boat airlocks. She couldn't get away.
That's great. Blast it. When's this airlock going to open?
What's the trouble? Corbett, you're white as a sheet.
Roger's still in the airlock. I heard the explosion, but he hasn't checked in. And I can't get into the airlock until the pressure is equalized.
There. You can get into the airlock now.
The portal's opening.
Hiya, Junior.
Roger, you okay?
Sure, you weren't worried, were you? The bomb exploded clear of the ship. No damage at all.
Except to my nerve.
Now, let's get after that Stone doll.
We don't have to, Roger. She's a prisoner in the jet boat airlock.
Well, then all our worries are over.
Not yet, Roger. We still have to find out why Barton Reed was murdered and what's happening on Venus.
Oh, great. More trouble. We stick out our necks again.
What's the matter, Roger? You worried? Oh, you don't want to live forever, do you?
That's just the trouble. The way you operate, I won't get the chance.
Don't miss the next action-packed adventure with Tom Corbett, Space Cadet, on Thursday, when he and Roger Manning land on Venus and find danger in Part 2 of The Atmosphere of Death. Tune in, same time, same station on Thursday for the next thrilling interplanetary adventure with Tom Corbett, Space Cadet. Brought to you by Kellogg's Pep, the build-up wheat cereal. Tom Corbett, Space Cadet, starring Frankie Thomas, can also be seen on television and appears in the comic sections of many of America's leading newspapers. Look for it daily and in weekend editions. Featured in today's cast are Jan Merlin, Peter Capell, Maurice Tarplin, and Elspeth Eric. Today's program was written by Elwood Hoffman, directed by Drex Hines. Jackson Beck speaking.
Kellogg's Raisin Bran has a secret. Kellogg's Raisin Bran has a secret.
And what a secret! In Kellogg's Raisin Bran, the tasty raisins are dipped in honeycomb. That means plumper, more tender raisins, along with delicious Golden Crisp bran flakes. Both fruit and cereal all in one box. And no other raisin bran but Kellogg's gives you the tender goodness of raisins dipped in honeycomb. That's Kellogg's secret. So for your breakfast, make sure you get Kellogg's, because
Kellogg's Raisin Bran has a secret.
Want to get away from it all? We offer you escape.
Escape, designed to free you from the four walls of today for a half hour of high adventure.
You're aboard a dead ship, drifting aimlessly in the endless reaches of the Indian Ocean.
while the three men who are your companions, unaware of your innermost thoughts, are making their own plans for the division of treasure, which, because you are a woman, can mean life or death for you all.
Listen now as Escape brings you Larry Roman's unusual story, The Derelick.
I'm rich now. Good looking, too. A lot of guys have said so. 29, and that's on the square. Dark eyes, dark hair, and I've been a dancer all my life, so you can figure out for yourself how I'm built. I'm not telling you this out of conceit or anything. I just want you to know what you'd have if you had me. And you can have me, any one of you. All you gotta do is come out and get me. A couple of weeks ago, I climbed aboard the freighter Capricorn out of Singapore for Suez with a load of porcelain and 6 passengers. I had a job waiting for me in Cairo, but I took a ship instead of a plane. 1, for the dough. 2, because I was in no hurry to start working. The honest truth was my feet were giving me fits. 4 days out in the Indian Ocean, a monsoon started up, and the Capricorn just busted to pieces on the reef. I don't know how long I floated around, hanging onto some wood, till they hauled me into a lifeboat.
All right now. Easy with her.
Gently. Do not bruise her on the side. Very good.
Clear off that canvas, Louis. Set her down.
I'm all right.
Certainly.
Here. Throw this jacket round you.
I'm okay. No kidding.
The jacket.
Thanks.
And clamp your legs under the seat. Everyone all right? Everything all right here, Mr. Mike? Okay. We're just going to have to ride it out. You all right?
Sure.
You're not sick anymore.
All done. Kind of silly, wasn't it? Like a kid.
No, not so silly.
May I do something for you, my dear?
No, thanks. I'm really okay.
Keatman. Henry von Keatman's my name. It was my cargo of porcelain on the ship.
I'm Mark Bowman.
Cora Moore. Hello.
This is Lou Wah, or is it Wah Lou?
My name is Lou Wah.
Chinese, part of the crew. Well, some predicaments, huh? Others all drown, I suppose.
Or adrift like us?
No drown, I think. We were the lucky ones. Some are, some aren't. Well, spirits up, everybody. Look. We have water for a few days, so that is fine.
Sure.
Well, people do not get lost at sea these days, not with airplanes and so much ocean travel.
All right. We'll set up watches and take turns trying to catch fish.
Fish? Who can think of food now?
There's always later. You take the first watch, Keatman. Lou and I will...
Are you setting yourself up as captain, Mike?
I hadn't thought of it that way.
I want to be captain. I have always wanted to run a ship.
Well, I don't care who's captain, but someone's got to watch and someone's got to fish.
Very well. We all got jobs to do. So, Lou, will you fish?
Yeah, hold on.
Mike will watch. I shall tend to the water, portion out the proper amounts, and Cora, my dear, you shall sit there and be womanly.
The water sits in the middle so everyone can see it. Cora helped out like everyone else.
Well, sure, Mike. Just tell me what you want.
Settled, Mr. Keatman?
Settled, Captain Bowman.
I got a long look at them. Sheepman, big around the middle and chest, white, shiny face, powerful arms. Mike, middle size, not bad looking, with clear blue eyes. Kind of girl ought to have. Lou was small, good at catching fish. So there we were, 3 men and me in a tub, bobbing around the Indian Ocean, drifting. Then on the afternoon of the second day...
Oh, look at you see! A ship!
Coming right for us, Mike, look at it.
I told you we'll be found. Hey-o! Hey-o!
Save your breath, it's miles off.
Oh, we row to it, the oars. Waloo, the oars. Mike, the oars. Quick, come on. Forward!
It was dusk by the time we got aboard. She was a 3-masted sailing ship. All her lifeboats were gone and junk was all over her deck. Seaweed and ocean stuff, so you knew she'd been under once. An old barkentine, Mike said. A ghost ship. Her deck cabins were caved in and she stank from rot. We looked her over. Then down in the captain's quarters we saw it. First, a couple of human skeletons in a pile of junk that was once closed. Then a metal box, near the skeletons, open. And in it were bricks of greenish-yellow stuff. Mike knew right off what it was.
Gold.
Gold? Impossible, it cannot be.
That's gold, all right. I've seen gold before.
Well, sure it is.
Sure it is. Oh, feel it. Hold on. 20, 30 pounds of brick. Why, that's a fortune.
No kidding? How much?
I don't know, but a fortune, easily a great amount.
Easily. Shut the box, Steedman.
The salvage laws, it's ours.
If we bring it in.
We will.
We've got another problem,
But
first.
I tell you, you do not get lost at sea these days. This is 1953. You do not get lost at sea in 1953.
No. Shut the box. It won't swim off.
Derelick, who are you to tell me what to do?
Oh, stop it, you two. Squabble like a couple of chorus girls.
Oh, sorry. I apologize.
All right. Now let's check the galley. We ought to figure out a way to start a fire.
What about the skeleton?
So what about them?
You'll get them overboard. I do not like to share the ship with them.
You do what you want.
You throw them overboard, Mike, if you don't mind. I wouldn't care to touch them.
Well, other things come first.
That is right. And before we do anything, don't you think we should have an understanding?
About what?
The gold.
What's there to understand? There are 4 of us. We bring it in, it's split 4 ways.
4 ways, yeah. Then I have a right. Now you go to the galley, Mike. I will stay here. I want to count the gold.
All right. Come on, Corbett.
No, I'll stay down here if you don't mind. I'd like to know how much there is, too. Honest to Pete, I don't know why I said it. I wasn't thinking it. It just came out. Well, it rained that night, and we collected a lot of clean, fresh water. Next day, it was real sunny and warm. We cleaned the ship up a bit. All of a sudden, I got the feeling how funny things were. Adrift at sea on a ghost ship. Though we had food, water, sun. At times, it was almost like a pleasure cruise.
Good morning.
Morning.
Sleep well?
Not too good. Of course, the place you fixed up for me was real nice, but... Well, I kept thinking about things. Cora Moore from San Diego with a jackpot. You know, you don't seem too happy about it.
First problems first.
We'll get found. Keithman's right. You don't get lost at sea these days. Ship is bound to cross it. Isn't it?
Sure.
So then we'll all be rich and happy. You still don't feel good about it.
I remember once when I was a kid. I reached for a pot in a dice game. My winnings was fair. I got the back of my hand ripped open with a knife. I never got the winnings.
I see. Counting your chickens.
That's it.
Well, everybody does that. Look at me. I was going to be a ballet dancer. I was a ballet dancer. In my mind, I mean. Pirouettes and all that. Who knew I was going to end up a fan dancer?
Well, that's not so bad.
No? Oh, well. What are you going to do with your share of the gold? I mean, if we bring it in.
Go back to Australia, get a ranch, sheep.
Sounds like work. You won't have to work. You'll have enough.
I don't mind.
Good morning.
Morning.
Hi.
Fine this morning. Where's Waloo?
Lou Wah is making breakfast.
This morning I would like fish for breakfast. Have him make fish. I feel good. I slept well. I always knew the rich slept well no matter what they tried to tell you.
Yeah.
Oh, I see the skeletons are gone, Mike.
I tossed them overside last night.
Oh, thank you, Mike.
Lou Wah found a barrel of nails. We're going to board up some cabin holes after we eat. You'll help?
Certainly.
I'll see you later, Cora.
Surly fellow. Well, you look lovely this morning, my dear. A fresh look. The sea air, yeah. You are a beautiful girl.
Sure. I'll get better looking to you the longer we're at sea.
Hey, Cora, my dear, I've been doing some calculations in regard to our wealth. If the bars weigh 20 pounds apiece, and since there are 100 of them, we have 20 by 12 by 100 by 35, the value of gold per ounce. In dollars, 840,000.
Buy a lot of meat and potatoes.
Ah, filet mignon, pheasant, pompano, almondine.
What's that?
Something very delicious. Now, suppose the bar weighs 25 pounds. $1 million.
$1 million?
If the gold is sold at Macau, where the market is free, say $50 an ounce, 1,500,000.
Oh, it keeps getting bigger.
Matter of multiplication. Multiplication is a wonderful thing. It makes everything grow.
Uh-huh.
Division, however, is not so wonderful.
What do you mean?
Well, take a large satisfactory number and divide, say, by 4. What are you left with? A small unsatisfactory number. Do you follow me?
No.
Mull it to yourself, my dear. I'm sure it will come to you.
Sure, I knew what he was getting at, but I wasn't letting on. Sometimes it pays to play dumb. Well, the day went on as usual, our ship drifting and us not seeing anything but the water and sky. And then that night, laying in my bunk, suddenly began to think of something. I don't know why. But there I was, all of a sudden, thinking about Keithman. And those ideas of his on multiplication and division. It just jolted me out of my bed. I ran out on deck. Mike came from one way, Keithman from the other, and we met at the railing.
Lou Wah! Lou Wah, where are you? No need to shout more. Look.
A few feet from us, the railing was all ripped away. We knew right off. Lou Wah was overboard. We could see the fin of a great shark cut the dark water and disappear.
We will return to Escape in just a moment, but first...
You should not have leaned against the railing. The wood is rotten.
What makes you think he leaned?
The ship tossing, then? It threw him against the side?
Lou Wah was a sailor. It's a calm sea. He could keep his feet in this ocean.
I don't understand you, Mike. How else could they have gone overboard?
There are ways.
I can't imagine.
Look, do we have to stand around talking about it?
Oh, of course not, my dear. Accidents do happen. There's no point.
Keithman, you watch your step.
Oh, what could you mean by that, Mike?
Just watch your step, that's all. I don't know what happened to Lou Wah, but you just watch your step.
As you say, Captain Bowman.
Come on, Corbett. I'll walk you back to your cabin.
Mike walked me back. I had my chance to do some talking, to tell him about the conversation I'd had with Keatman about multiplication and division. I should have told Mike. I know it. But somehow the words just wouldn't come out. I don't know why. Mike left me. I asked him to, and I tried to get some sleep. No luck. I kept thinking about poor Lua and also something else. I don't really know why I thought about it, but the fact is I did. Without me doing anything, I just got richer.
Cora?
Hmm?
Are you asleep? May I come in?
Well,
Just for a few moments, my dear. I want to talk to you.
All right. Just a sec. It's real late.
Oh, just a little while. The thing is, I do not get to see you enough alone. Oh, Cora.
No, wait a minute.
Oh, it's all right. Mike is asleep. He will not hear.
Hands off, mister. That's all.
Oh, have I made a mistake? I thought you had some feelings for me.
Well, it's just that... Hey, you sure rush a girl.
Oh, I see. I'm sorry.
Why don't you go now, Keatman?
Oh, no, Henry.
Why don't you go, Henry? I feel kind of upset tonight. You know what I mean. Lua and everything.
Yeah, all right, my dear.
You're not mad?
Oh, no.
There'll be other times.
Oh, yes, of course, other times. Cora,
when
we are safe on land and rich, we will go someplace, you and I. Italy, perhaps, or the south of France. Cora, 1.5 million divided by 3 is a large number. That should mean a lot to you.
Yeah, I have to admit. I've been thinking about it.
1.5 million divided by 2 should mean even more.
In the morning, I found Mike at the ship's bow, looking out at the sea. I remember saying to myself, he looked kind of good to me. Funny how a guy can look one way to you at one time, then at another look so very different.
Oh, hello.
What do you see?
The usual. Nothing.
Oh, it's not so bad. Still got fish and water. It's only the 3rd day. Guys were adrift during the war for weeks. They got saved.
Sure.
They had it worse than us. Mind if I sit here with you?
No, of course not. You seen Keatman? Below, I guess, counting.
Yeah. He sure is gone off on that gold. You know, I've been thinking.
About what?
Those skeletons we found. You wonder who they are? Who they were?
A little.
You think they were part of the crew or come on later like us?
Why, it looks to me like the whole crew abandoned ship. No, I'd say those two came on later. That's after the ship came up from the bottom.
And they found the gold, huh? Just like us?
Uh-huh.
Wondered what happened then. Sure smells good up here. It's about the only place aboard you don't smell the ship's rot. Maybe I should have been a sailor instead of a dancer. A lot of good outdoors.
Ranching gets you outside, too.
Yeah. That Australia's just loaded down with fresh air. What about sheep, huh?
What about them?
They smell?
Sheep aren't so bad.
Maybe I ought to use my share of the gold to buy a ranch next to yours. We could be neighbors and get together to talk about hard times. All this, I mean.
Cora. Cora, I don't know. I can't quite tell whether it's because of the mess we're in or... Well, I suppose it might be different on land when we're safe, but...
What are you trying to say, Mike?
Oh, nothing. You forget it, Cora.
Sure. All right. Mike, Keatman came into my cabin last night.
He did?
I thought there was going to be trouble.
Well, now, let Cora...
No, it's all right. The only thing is... Well, I think you better watch yourself.
What do you mean?
Well, it's what he said to me. He said him and me could split the gold in two.
Yeah.
I just thought I ought to tell you.
Thanks.
There's a knife in the galley. I don't want to suggest anything, but nobody's going to blame you if you move first. I don't know why I said it the way I said it. I didn't mean to say it that way. It sort of came out. Funny how you do things sometimes. For no real reason, I mean. Well, the third day went by, and we just kept drifting and drifting. Nothing to look at but ocean and sky. Then toward late afternoon, we saw something. Just a speck in the sky, but then it came closer and closer. A plane. One of those big 4-engine passenger jobs.
Hey! Hey, down here! Down here! Hey!
Keatman waved his shirt and screamed to beat the band. The plane saw us, dipped its wings, and then took off again. We knew it would send a ship and that we'd soon be saved. That night in the galley, we sat down for what we hoped would be our last meal on the Derelick.
Fish. Have some delicious fish.
Thank you. I don't want any more.
Cora?
I don't feel much like eating.
Water, then. Have a big drink of water.
No, I don't want any.
Watch out. You're spilling it.
Oh, who needs it anymore? I told you we'd be found. This is 1953. The ship will come to us tomorrow, I bet.
All right. And we'll celebrate tomorrow. You put the water down. We've still got tonight.
Tonight? Yeah, tonight.
Keatman shut up then, and a few minutes later left the galley. Then Mike went out, too. That's when I noticed that the galley knife wasn't there anymore. The sea got kind of choppy that night, and I was sure restless. Wind started acting up. It began to rain. It looked like a storm was building. Then I heard the scream. I ran out along the wet deck and stood outside the hold, looking down into the blackness. I couldn't see, but I knew what it was. Mike and Keatman. And only one was going to come up. Only one. Henry.
I got the knife in him before he knew what happened.
Mike?
Done. We divide by two, my love, by two as it should be.
I gotta get into my cabin. I'm getting all wet.
Oh, wait. Cora.
Yeah?
The ship will come to us today, to us, to you and me. The $1.5 million is ours.
I know, Henry.
To France? Or would you rather Italy?
Whatever you want, Henry.
Anything?
Yeah.
Oh, Cora. Cora, my love.
Oh, Cora! Cora!
I don't know why I did it. Honest to Pete, I wasn't thinking about it. I just did it all of a sudden. I gave him a shove, and he went right over the side. I could see him in water just for a second. His face whiter than ever and his eyes bugging out. And then he was gone. The storm lasted for days. 3, 4. I don't remember now. And it tossed the ship I don't know how many which ways. Then the sky cleared up. Sun got all warm again. It's been this way a couple of days now. Well, I haven't seen the rescue ship. Water's gone. Fish, too. And I'm alone. Like I say, I'm rich. I'm still good looking. Any of you can have me in gold. All you gotta do is come out and get me. But please come quick.
Under the direction of Anthony Ellis, Escape has brought you The Derelick, adapted by Larry Roman from a story by Victor Schwartz, and starring Charlotte Lawrence as Cora. Featured in the cast were Joseph Kearns as Keatman, Ben Wright as Mike, and Charlie Long as Lou Waugh. The special music for Escape is composed and conducted by Lee Stevens. Next week.
You are standing guard deep in the forests of Africa, while around you, closing in on you, are the dreaded Mau Mau, who, if you relax your guard, will kill you.
So listen next week when Escape brings you John Dehner's terrifying story, Lily and the Colonel. This coming Tuesday night, mystery fans will want to stop, listen, and thrill to Mr. and Mrs. North Looking for Trouble on CBS Radio. And to John Lund as yours truly, Johnny Dollar, probing the San Antonio matter. The Norths collide with homicide and come close to grief themselves. Johnny Dollar comes close to falling in love, closer still to trouble in San Antone. Remember, they're both this coming Tuesday night on most of these same CBS radio stations. Mr. and Mrs. North, and yours truly, Johnny Dollar. Don't miss them. This is Roy Rowan speaking. And remember, you're invited to Art Linkletter's house party every weekday on the CBS Radio Network.
Rice Chex and Wheat Chex, the bite-sized cereals in the red and white checkerboard packages, present Space Patrol! High adventure in the wild, vast reaches of space. Missions of daring in the name of interplanetary justice. Travel into the future with Buzz Corey, Commander-in-Chief of the Space Patrol! In today's transcribed Space Patrol adventure, Buzz and Happy are trying to get out of a huge castle on the planet Venus, where Polydor is holding them prisoner. The two Space Patrollers are struggling to open a heavy door.
Oh, it's locked. But in a castle this size, there must be more doors.
The chances are Polydor has them all locked.
Yeah, by electronic control. But, Commander, something smells strange.
I noticed it, too.
No, my eyes are burning.
We've got to find Polydor and take our chances. He's flooding the castle with poison gas. We'll return in just a moment with today's exciting Space Patrol adventure, The Robot of Vortena. Hi, gang. Captain Dick Tufeld and...
The Man from Mars.
Reporting to you on...
The Man from Mars Totem Head with... Magic Forehead Vision.
And, gang, this is the very last time we can offer you this terrific totem head on Space Patrol. So you better hurry. Get your box tops and quarters in the mail right away.
Space Patrollers, this is Cadet Happy.
Alias the Man from Mars.
And Smoking Rockets, get yourself a totem head. Put it on, and you can be a man from Mars, too. With magic forehead vision and two faces, one in front and one in back. Play neat tricks on your pals with magic forehead vision. You can see them, they can't see you. Works like a pair of X-ray eyes. With those two faces, you're coming and going both at the same time. And jumpin' Jupiter, the totem head is more than 12 inches high in real Martian colors. Red and yellow, green and black. Fantastic ears, nose, teeth, and a swell pointed head. But remember, this is the last time we can offer it. So send for yours today.
Cadet Happy.
The Man from Mars
is right, Space Patrollers. So for every totem head, send a Rice Chex or Wheat Chex box top together with your name and address to Space Patrol, Box 686, St. Louis, Missouri. And don't forget your 25 cents.
That's Space Patrol, Box 686, St. Louis, Missouri.
And now today's Space Patrol adventure, The Robot of Vortena. The Secretary General of the United Planets has just sent a spaceophone message from Jupiter asking Commander Corey to deliver some important documents to the Secretary's daughter, Carol. Right now, Buzz and Happy are in the Secretary General's home on the man-made planet Terra. The commander hands the sealed pouch to Carol.
Since you're going to Jupiter in your own ship, Carol, I think it'd be a good idea if I assigned a Space Patrol agent to go with you.
Surely no one but Father, you and Happy know that I'm carrying the papers, so what's to worry about?
Lately, a lot of things we thought were secrets turned out to be otherwise.
He means Polidor, Carol.
Oh, Polidor. I'm sure he's after more important information than what I'm taking to Father.
Carol, there's information in this pouch that could be worth millions of credits. And Polidor isn't the only crook who'd like to get his hands on it.
Buzz, you sound so serious.
I just want you to realize that with those papers in your ship, it's no longer a pleasure trip. It's government business.
Of course. Well, don't worry. I'll get them to Dad at the governor's conference. Buzz, did Father suggest a bodyguard for me?
No. If you had, there'd be one aboard your ship with no argument.
I suppose an escort would be a tip-off if this was an official trip.
Yes, it would, since you usually make space trips by yourself. That's another reason I'm not insisting. Well, Hap and I'd better be going.
Oh, do you have to?
It's getting close to 2200, Carol. Isn't that when you were planning to blast off?
Golly, Moses, I had no idea it was so late. I still have some last-minute packing to do.
Of course. Come on, Hap.
Yes, sir. Have a nice trip, Carol.
Well, thanks, Happy.
Goodbye, Carol, and be careful.
Goodbye, Buzz. And thanks.
Just a minute. Did I startle you, Miss Carlyle?
What are you doing here?
Is that any way to talk to a Space Patrol lieutenant?
You're not a Space Patrol lieutenant.
All right, so I stole the uniform. I look like a lieutenant.
Well, Lieutenant, I'll just get Commander Corey.
Stay right where you are. If you try to scream, I'll use this ray gun.
Who are you? What do you want?
Why, I'm your escort. I'm going to get aboard your ship with you at the spaceport.
You must be out of your mind. All I have to do is...
You were about to say that all you have to do is signal the guards and they'd grab me. Isn't that right? I advise you not to try it, Miss Carlyle. If anything happens to me, I have friends on Jupiter, where your father is.
You wouldn't dare harm my father.
Come, Jethro, you're wasting time.
What was that?
One of my friends. He's on another planet, but he can see and hear us perfectly.
Polidor.
Yes.
Jethro, take the girl and the document, and hurry.
Where's the voice coming from?
From a small device called a detectoscope. When your father had this room redecorated last week, one of the workmen installed it.
In all this time...
I've heard many interesting conversations, Miss Carlyle. Your father has such important guests.
Come, Miss Carlyle. If we're noticed at the spaceport, it'll merely appear that a Space Patrol officer is escorting the Secretary General's daughter to Jupiter.
Elsewhere, in the Coronine Mountains of Venus, hundreds of miles from the nearest city, stands the Castle of Vortena. It was built during the 25th century by a wealthy space merchant as a showplace to entertain his friends in interplanetary commerce and society. Now, 5 centuries later, it is a deserted, crumbling ruin. It is here that Jedro has brought Carol.
Here she is, Polidor.
Welcome to Vortena Castle, Miss Carlyle.
Jedro, did you have any trouble?
No, but I'd better camouflage Carol's spaceship.
Yes, and later you can move it into the hangar under the mountain. Miss Carlyle, do you know who I am?
You're a criminal who calls himself Polydor.
Yes, and you are one of the few people in the universe who have met me face to face as Polydor. As Commander Corey now knows, I'm Rudolph Janet, retired research chemist and amateur astronomer.
I'm not the least interested or impressed.
Aren't you curious why you were brought here?
No.
Of course you are. By bringing you here with the documents, I have a powerful control over Commander Corey.
What do you mean?
Isn't it obvious? To ensure your safety, Corey won't be quite as reckless in his efforts to capture me.
Then you're going to let him know you abducted him?
No, I'm going to lead Corey into a trap. Jedro.
Yes, Polydor.
Take Miss Carlyle's identification bracelet. See that it's delivered to Corey at the Terra headquarters according to plan.
Right.
And now, Miss Carlyle, after I lock you in your room, I'll set the stage for Corey's downfall.
Hours later, in the central office of Space Patrol headquarters on Terra, a very worried Commander Corey talks on the intercom to a security captain.
He's now 4 hours overdue at Jupiter City.
All private first ship's been alerted, sir, just as you ordered. So far, report negative.
I talked to the space control operator who checked her out through the airlocks last night. Her ship blasted off on schedule.
Yes, I know. I talked with the gate patrolman who saw Carol get aboard with her bodyguard.
Commander, here's...
Just a minute, Captain. Captain, what did you say about a bodyguard?
I said I checked with the gate patrol at the spaceport. I found a man who saw Carol board her ship with his space patrol lieutenant.
Carol was going alone. I didn't assign an escort.
What?
Captain, get hold of the gate guard. Get a description of that lieutenant and check with personnel and operations. Alert the officer locator section.
Yes, sir.
Hurry out. Captain, did you hear that?
Yes, sir.
That was one of our officers with Carol. He'll have signed out with space operations.
Unless he's gone OPWL.
We haven't had an off-planet without lead case in 5 years. I think the lieutenant was a phony, and a checkup will prove it.
Oh, sir, this package is for you. A private messenger brought it.
I'll look at it later. Who's it from?
It doesn't say. It's marked urgent, personal, and official business.
Open that half. I'm getting out a special search plan on Carol.
Yes, sir. Look, and look, it's Commander. Look.
A girl's bracelet. Captain, let me see that. It's Carol's.
Yes, sir. The identification bracelet her father gave her for her birthday.
Let's see that piece of paper.
Yes, sir.
I have information that will help you locate Carol Carlyle. Through a set of circumstances, I was able to obtain this bracelet without the knowledge of her actual abductors. This puts me in a dangerous position. Still, I feel it my duty to cooperate with the Space Patrol.
Wow, does that sound phony?
There's more. If you, Commander, will land on Jupiter Moon number 6 at exactly 1900 hours Universal Start Time, I'll give you what facts I have. I regret being forced to use this indirect method, but to contact you openly would cost me my life.
He just happened to find Carol's bracelet. Does he think they're going to fall for that?
Under the circumstances, there's only one thing to do. We're blasting off for Jupiter number 6.
At 1900 hours Universal Start Time, Buzz lands the Terra 5 on the airless surface of Jupiter's sixth moon at a point directed in the anonymous message. Moments later, a small private cruiser arcs in and hovers until Buzz and Happy step out of their ship in their spacesuits unarmed. The cruiser settles slowly down to the rocky satellite and cuts rockets. For long minutes, the space patrollers wait. Then, slowly, the cruiser's hatch opens, a ladder is lowered, and Buzz and Happy stride forward.
I'll go first, Hap. Commander Corey and Cadet Happy are aboard. Show yourself. Proceed forward. Come on, Hap. It sure is dark. What do they light this ship with? Fireflies? That's close enough, gentlemen. Stand right there. Where's Carol Carlyle? There are certain preliminaries, Commander. Let's get to them. Close that hatch so we can open these space pieces and talk man to man. Our conversation can best be carried on as we are, in our spacesuits. You've got us at a disadvantage. You can see us, but we can't see you. Your note said you weren't connected with whoever abducted Carol Carlyle. That is correct. I am not. Then why are you wearing that one-way vision face piece? Yeah, and why the dim lights? Yes, for an innocent man, you're taking a lot of precaution. Please, if you'll listen, you'll understand. May not approve, but you will understand. I do know the men who are holding Miss Carlyle. Yes, and you're afraid of reprisals. You're scared. Now what? I want to ask a favor. In exchange for certain information. Keep talking. I have here on this small duty desk a bundle of currency. 200,000 credits. I want you to deposit it in the Terra Bank to the account of E.J. Whitney. But if I promise to deposit the money, you'll tell me where to find Miss Carlyle? Yes. Now, will you deposit the money? If you can prove that Carol is safe. That's easy. The spacer phone has been on since you came aboard. Polidor, put the girl on. Polidor. We might have known it. Carol, this is Buzz. Can you hear me?
Yes, Buzz.
Watch what you say, all of you. Are you all right? Have they harmed you?
No, I'm all right.
Sounds like Carol.
Buzz, this is crap. They're going to frame you. Listen.
That's enough of that. Polidor's got Carol, but we've got you. Is that so? Commander, he closed the hatch. Hope that we're taking you to our ship. You are? Got him, Happy? I've got him. Go! That takes care of the cadet. Now, Commander, you're next. I'm going to open that face piece of yours and give you a... That's your match this time, didn't you, Corey? I'll just pick you up, slam you against the bulkhead. Just like babies. Now I'll haul you boys back aft and blast off for Venus.
We'll return to Space Patrol in just a moment. Totem poles, and more totem poles. Tall ones, small ones, middle-sized ones. In every Space Patroller's backyard, they're going up. All of them made out of those super scary, super spooky Man from Mars totem heads, stacked one on top of the other. Say, gang, how about yours? Have you started building your totem pole yet? Well, if not, you'd better hurry, because today is positively the last time we can offer you on Space Patrol the terrific Man from Mars totem head. Yes, sir, today is the last day I can tell you about the fantastic fun you can have with the Man from Mars totem head and Magic Forehead Vision. That's the special secret vision plate on each totem head. When you wear it, you can see out, but nobody can see in. Colored red, yellow, green, and black, the Man from Mars totem head is more than 12 inches high, with a face in front and a face in back. 2 pointed ears, 4 weird eyes, a beak-like nose, and fang-like teeth. Get one or two. Wear them one on top of the other. Fool your friends and scare your pals. And remember, you can see them, but they can't see you with Magic Forehead Vision. So get lots of totem heads. Stack them one on top of the other. And you have an honest-to-goodness totem pole to guard the door to your room or the gate to your backyard. But send for them right away, because today is the last time we can offer you the Man from Mars totem head. So for everyone you want, send a rice checks or wheat checks box top, together with your name and address, and 25 cents in coin, to Space Patrol, Box 686, St. Louis, Missouri. Don't forget your 25 cents. That's Space Patrol, Box 686, St. Louis, Missouri. This offer good only in the USA and may be withdrawn at any time. And now back to our Space Patrol adventure, the robot of Vortena. Harold Carlyle has mysteriously disappeared on a space flight to Jupiter. Following instructions in an anonymous note delivered to Space Patrol headquarters on Terra, Buzz and Happy blasted off to Jupiter's sixth moon. Meeting the informer, a man whose identity was completely hidden by his spacesuit, Buzz learned that Carol is being held captive by the super criminal Polidor. Carol's spaceophone warning that they were in a trap caused the Space Patrollers to attack their treacherous informer. Amazingly, Buzz and Happy were overpowered, apparently with ridiculous ease for their adversary. Right now, they've regained consciousness in a dimly lit room.
Commander, are you okay?
I'm still groggy from that slamming, huh?
Lucky we had our spacesuits on. We'd have plenty of broken bones. Hey, we're not in our spacesuits now.
No, we're not in that cruiser anymore.
Stone floor, stone walls, we're on land. But what land?
Well, the immediate problem is to get out of here.
Yeah. I don't know who that guy was, but he could be the wrestling champ of the solar system. He handled both of us like we were a couple of kittens.
Well, that's what will trap him eventually. He took the trouble to hide his face, yet he displays the one characteristic that will set him off anywhere in the universe, his incredible strength.
Yeah, but suppose he's smart and doesn't play Samson again.
Now, a man that could resist every temptation to show off just isn't human. Just isn't human.
Sir, somebody's coming.
Oh, so you two finally came out of it, huh? Don't try anything.
Get him. A gun in one hand and a toolbox in the other. Must be hunting for work.
Well, that's it. Have your fun while you can.
Hey, Commander, this is the fellow that was in that cruiser. I recognize his voice.
You're very clever. Come on, let's go, both of you.
Where?
Polidor wants to talk to you. Here, Cadet, you lug this tool case.
Me? I don't know whether I can. If it gives you trouble, well, I'll try it. What's
It's not so heavy.
Out the door. You first, Cadet. Now, Corey.
Now what? Drop that gun. I'll get it, Commander.
Met your match this time, didn't you?
Smoking rockets, Commander. You took care of him easy. But in his ship, he tossed us around like nothing.
I could tell he wasn't superhuman the way he carried that toolbox.
Say, maybe it was the spacesuit that gave him extra power. A spacesuit with muscles.
This man wasn't in that spacesuit.
But, sir, his voice. It's the same as on the chip. Somebody's coming.
Give me that ray gun. Stand back.
Commander, look. A robot.
Shut the door. Try to keep it out.
That's no use, sir. He's stronger than both of us together.
This is what licked us before, the robot.
It's coming after us.
I'll try the ray gun, but I don't think it'll work.
Never even phased it.
Hand over the weapon, Commander.
Polidor's voice, coming out of a robot.
The gun, Commander. Or do you want the robot to take it away from you? That could be quite painful, you know.
Okay. Catch.
He caught it.
No, testing the robot's reflexes, weren't you, Corey? Like his strength, they're superhuman.
What have you done with Carol?
You are going to see her in a moment. She's in the other part of the dungeon.
Dungeon?
Of course. You're in Vortena Castle on Venus. Now, since you have knocked my friend out, the robot will escort you to Miss Carlisle's suite.
So, the robot was wearing the spacesuit. Now I don't feel so ashamed of getting licked.
Chedro was here in the castle all the time. You heard his voice through the detectoscope on the robot's head.
The robot piloted the ship from Jupiter's sixth moon here to Venus.
Yes. The robot is quite clever, provided he's controlled by a clever man. Out the door, gentlemen, and left to the corridor.
Let's go, Hal.
Unbolt the door, Corey, and go in.
Captain. It's my fault you're here.
Take it easy, Carol.
Polidor didn't get rough with you, did he?
No, I'm all right, but I shouldn't have warned you.
Forget it. Happy and I would have tackled this robot anyway.
Sure.
Such an ugly, horrible thing.
Yeah, it looks better in a spacesuit.
The robot is designed for utility, not for duty.
It's Polidor's voice.
Yeah. I'm getting used to hearing his voice boom out of walls, spaceships, and now this animated ash can. Gus here.
Gus?
The robot. If he's going to be around, he ought to have a name of his own.
That's the robot. Somehow it fits his personality.
It's time we got down to business, Corey.
Fine, but let's talk man to man, not through this mechanical monstrosity.
Yeah, and this dungeon is cold and damp and reeks of paint.
It's giving me a headache.
Fine place to put the Secretary General's daughter, in a room full of paint cans.
If you cooperate, you won't be here long. The paint, incidentally, is to be used on my spaceship. I find it necessary to change markings and identification numbers.
Don't you know that's illegal?
We're wasting time. Between the three of you, I should learn some interesting facts about the Space Patrol and government plans.
You're still wasting your time.
Remember the robot. He can be very persuasive. Corey, we'll start with the Space Patrol code system. Come, I'm waiting.
Well, this is going to take some time. I think I'll pull up a can of paint and sit down. Oops. The lid's loose on this one.
Let me see that.
Sure. Here, Commander.
Corey, what are you going to do with that can of paint?
Black paint, not too thick, not too thin. Stand back, Carl, away from Gus.
Paint isn't going to stop this robot.
No, but it'll slow him down.
Wow. All over Gus's head and down his front.
I can't see. Confound you, Corey.
Now, put the empty can over his head for good measure.
Oh, look out, Buzz. Don't let him grab you.
Have the robot drop the ray gun. Get it. Let's get out of here.
Yes, sir.
Yes, Corey.
Come on, Carol. Now, pull that door shut and throw the bolt.
That was close.
I can still hear Gus stamping around in there with a can on his head. It was a great idea, Commander.
Before that robot will be any more use, pull it over, have to get the can off its head and wipe the paint off the detectoscope.
Poor Gus, just like a blind Samson.
Poor Gus, my eye. He's a walking pile driver.
Carol, you know how to get out of this castle?
They brought me down that stairway over there.
Come on. Try the door, Hal.
It's locked.
A castle this size, there must be more doors.
Chances are Polidor has them all locked.
Yeah, by electronic control.
I was hoping to get Carol to a safe place and then search this castle till we found Polidor.
Buzz, something smells strange.
I noticed it too, sir. My eyes are burning.
Polidor's flooding the castle with poison gas.
Now we've got to find him. Buzz, Carol, and Happy rush through the bleak corridors of the huge castle. They try door after door. All are locked. And each moment the toxic vapor becomes more and more unbearable, burning their lungs, making them gasp for breath. Right now they're painfully groping their way down a dimly lit corridor near a winding stairway.
Even if we do run into Polidor, how are we going to handle him? I can hardly see.
He'll be in the same fix we are.
Probably shut himself up in an airtight room waiting for the gas to finish us.
The coward. He knows we've got a gun now, so now he won't...
Happy, listen.
Somebody's up the stairs.
It's the central stairway of the castle. It goes up to the tower and down to the dungeon.
Say, if we go up, we can get away from this gas.
We've got there. About 4 flights. There are 2 of them.
They're wearing spacesuits.
Polidor and Jedro.
So that's how they're avoiding the gas.
Door up there leading outside.
Yeah, I saw a shaft of light. If they don't lock it, we can follow them and get out of here.
Look, something's wrong with one of them.
Hey, look how he's staggering around.
Maybe there's a leak in the spacesuit.
Hey, that means that...
Look, he's falling over the railing. The other one isn't even helping him.
Stand back. He's going to drop down the stairs. Happy, you stay here with Carol. There isn't much chance he's alive, but we can't leave him there.
Sure, sir.
Listen. Someone's coming up the stairs. Carol, who else is in the castle?
I don't know. Just Jedro and Polidor, I thought.
Smoking rockets, Commander. Look. It's Jedro.
No, it's me, but don't worry, I'm not. Get me out of here.
Hey, wait a minute. You're here, and one of those men in the spacesuit was Polidor. Who was the other one?
The rope. Yeah, that's the one that fell down the shaft.
How do you know?
Because Jedro made him fall, isn't that right?
Yes. Polidor ran out of me, left me here to die, but I got this. It's one of the robot control mechanisms. Polidor had the other.
We were fighting for control of the robot. Polidor up there and you down below.
Yes.
That's why he staggered.
But why would he take the trouble to put the robot in a spacesuit?
Perhaps to confuse us in case we caught up with him.
And he figured Gus was more used to him now than Jedro.
Come on. Let's go up the stairs and out that door.
You can't. It won't open. Polidor had the only key.
Well, maybe we can break it down.
It's no use.
You mean we're locked in this castle?
Yes, Polidor thought of everything. We can't even shut off that poison gas.
Got to break that door open.
But Jedro says we can't.
Jedro, down at the bottom of the stairwell is something that might help us. The robot.
Gus? He must be smashed in 1,000 pieces.
Try that control, Jedro. Hurry.
Okay, I'll cut it on. Might work at that. See this little screen that just lit up?
Yeah, it's the robot's shadow.
Now, let's see if they'll move.
Oh, his arms are moving.
See if you can get him on his feet. Hurry, we can't hold out much longer.
Hey, it works. Gus is walking.
Once I get him started, you'll follow the railing right up the stairs.
Come on. Let's run up to the door and wait for him.
Oh, Gus is still coming.
Try the door just in case.
It's no use, sir.
I feel faint.
Keep fighting, Carol. Jedro can get any more speed out of that robot.
There he is, coming up the last flight.
He's hardly damaged at all.
It's a big dent in the helmet, but outside of that, he's all right. Stand back and give him room. Go ahead, Jedro.
Yeah, sure.
Commander, catch him.
I've got him.
Oh, what a time for him to pass out.
I've been watching him work the controls. Let's see if I can operate, Gus.
That's it. He's raising his arms.
Here goes. Keep out of the way. He's going to start swinging.
Attaboy, Gus. Give it all you've got. Hooray. Good boy, Gus. We're free.
Happy, you take care of Jedro. Bring him out into the air. Come on, Carol. You'll be all right in a minute.
Oh, I'm fine now, but that air.
Hey, all we got to do now is go down these steps outside the castle and... Well, come on, Jedro, on your feet.
Thanks.
Hey, Polidor. He's getting away in a spaceship.
Where's the document?
No, he hasn't got him. I sneaked him away from him and hid him.
Yeah.
Inside the robot. That's why I tried to get control of it.
What a gang of cutthroats. Polidor runs out on you. You double-cross Polidor. And it looks like the only decent guy in the outfit is Gus. Hey, Commander, did you work the robot control just then?
No, why?
Gus moved. Maybe he's got a short circuit from the fall. He's holding out his right arm.
Happy. You just paid Gus a compliment. I think he wants to shake hands.
Huh? Well, put her there, Gus.
A preview of next week's exciting Space Patrol adventure in just a moment.
The last of the spook from outer space. The last of the walking, talking totem pole.
Yes, Space Patrollers, this is the very last time I can tell you about the fun you can have with the Man from Mars Totem Head with Magic Forehead Vision. Wear one and you're the spook from outer space. The Totem Head is 12 inches high from head to shoulders. And with Magic Forehead Vision, you can see out, but nobody sees in. Wear two, and you're the walking, talking totem pole. You'll really look just like an honest-to-goodness totem pole, too, because each Man from Mars totem head comes in honest-to-goodness totem colors. Red, yellow, green, and black, with honest-to-goodness looking totem ears, nose, eyes, and teeth. And man, oh man, just wait until you get yours. But you better not wait, because you've got to send for yours right away, because this is the last time I can offer you the Man from Mars totem head with Magic Forehead Vision. Now, for each one you want, send a Rice Chex or Wheat Chex box top, together with your name and address, and 25 cents in coin, to Space Patrol, Box 686, St. Louis, Missouri. Don't forget your 25 cents. That's Space Patrol, Box 686, St. Louis, Missouri. And now, a preview of next week's exciting Space Patrol adventure. Buzz and Happy, dressed as prospectors, are tramping across the great Martian desert toward Polidor's hideout.
Getting closer. That must be the hideout right over that dune. Can't expect to sneak up on him. Surprise him. Best we can hope for is that we can get close before he recognizes us. Uh-oh. I see him. He sees us. There's people. Can't tell whether it's Polidor or not, but he's got a gun.
Oh, what do you want?
Our car's back in the desert about 2 miles.
That's too bad. You won't be needing it anymore.
Drop Happy, he's got a blast gun.
Be sure to join us next week for the thrilling story, Trial by Terror, when Rice Chex and Wheat Chex again present Space Patrol. Space Patrol, created by Mike Moser, starring Ed Kemmer as Commander Corey and Lynn Osborne as Cadet Happy, was written by Lou Houston, produced and directed by Larry Robertson, executive producer Mike Devery. Other players were Virginia Hewitt, Bela Kovac, and Norman Jolly. Dick Tufeld speaking. Now, don't forget to tune in next Saturday and every Saturday when Rice Chex and Wheat Chex again present exciting action on Space Patrol. Be sure to see another exciting Space Patrol program on your local ABC television station. Consult your newspaper for time and channel. This program is broadcast to our armed forces overseas through the worldwide facilities of the Armed Forces Radio Service. Space Patrol came to you transcribed from Hollywood. This is ABC Radio Network.